I've got to remark, I picked a perfect spot to stop where I have no clue where you all are going after this initial encounter. So I've attempted to prepare, I think, kind of like 5 different general directions that this might go. It was definitely poorly planned. I do feel like this group has a little bit more of a hard stop, so I know that was part of stopping when we did. But it was definitely poorly planned as far as planning for the upcoming session. So I hope this goes well.
Um. Oh. Hey.
Hey.
How's it going, Larry?
Hey guys.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Wait, did we?
I think we had one
Oh
right
yeah.
after the session, but I never feel bad to say Happy New Year, especially when it's looking back on 2020. It's a good year to look back on. Bye,
20
Felicia.
Yeah, 2021 seems not as great as I might have hoped right off the bat, but seems
Oh,
to be
come
improving.
on. Starting with an insurrection? What could go wrong?
Hey, look. This is most likely the year quarantine will fucking end. It will end this year. It's got to, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I like the way you put it. It's most likely the year.
Most likely.
I can get with that.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the day I stop going to work without. Oh well, stop going to work. Actually working with a fucking face mask on.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
I
heard.
hope we get there for Christmas. That's my plan.
I hear a lot of people saying June. A lot of people saying June. I'm putting my money on June. If we get that would be so good. If we can end this shit right before the summertime, that'd be fucking big money there.
Yeah, most people are predicting summertime at least. What with the vaccines?
Well, I live in Massachusetts, right? So we'll see. Might be by Christmas, I'm hoping.
Yeah, I look forward for it before Christmas just for the idea of actually getting to see people for Christmas.
The positive thing about living in Sweden, there's not much people, so it's much easier to vaccinate.
Yeah, I think one of my DMs, I feel like he works in some sort of research that is corona related. It was the type of thing where he had some things to kind of like share with us here and there. And I think he's scheduled to get it late January, maybe early February. So that was kind of cool to hear essentially someone who's not necessarily frontline but medical is about to get it. And then I feel like where I'm at in South Carolina, it's kind of a shit show, but it sounds like maybe middle of the year, people who are just kind of random might be able to get it.
Well, 70% of America would be vaccinated by August 17th if it was 1 million per day. And it hasn't yet been 1 million per day. So I'm sort of thinking like summer will be great because we'll be outside. September, hopefully things will start to get a little more normal around the college scene. We'll see. But I think you still have to wear a mask even after you get a vaccine. You can still catch the thing, right?
Yeah, you
I
can
don't
still
know. I'm
spread it and
confused.
catch it.
Yeah, so what's really... So back to Ty. Hopefully this is the year. That'll be good. That we can stop
Yo.
wearing masks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely laughing about the fact that it's like less than 1% get killed by it, and basically the vaccine pretty much makes it that, what is that, like 5% of that less than 1% would actually then be fatal cases.
Yeah, totally.
But
That's right.
otherwise, it changes nothing because you still spread it, you just get less symptoms.
You don't get it as bad, right?
But I'm kind of curious because I definitely had a form of it in like June, and I've basically like December was the first time I didn't have like a I don't know, like a re-symptom, like the symptoms are rising again. And then like I still have lung issues from it. Like every once in a while I'll go to sleep and I still wheeze, and like almost have like asthma attacks from it. And that's one of the things that I'm really curious about, how long-term effects, if they will ever go away.
Yeah, the lung issues are gonna be very long term, sadly enough. They usually are, at least.
But like another thing, I cannot wait to actually be able to start going to the gym again. It's holy shit. Like I can handle working from home. It's definitely something else to be very isolated and work from home. But wow, do I miss. I do not have a workout schedule like I did when I would actually go to the gym. I kind of miss bartending, but not nearly as much when I think about how many of my friends are probably still working as a server, uh, despite all of this going on.
Fucking that one place is still open. That one gym, the dude got like $1 million in fines, right? I think it was in Jersey or New York. I don't know. Y'all heard
Jersey,
about
I
that?
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won't shut down. He keeps opening up. He keeps getting fined.
I've seen stuff about like underground gyms, especially like in like the city in New York City, where like people have basically like put their cameras below like the metal door that they drop down, and they see people like working out in the gym, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? But I've also seen like Planet Fitnesses is where I've gone in the past. And just to see people who are working out, like a lot of I think I saw them because of anti-maskers, like freaking out because they're asked to wear a mask. Definitely surprises me, but I also certainly understand the desire to just continue your workout routine. So I just spoke with Christy. She's not going to be able to make it. She still has a desire to jump back in, just is not currently available. So we will get started if everybody is good to go. I never want
Cool.
to stop a cordial conversation. We can definitely hop in regardless when everybody's ready.
I was just gonna say that one thing I appreciate about it is I got to play D&D with you guys because that is not something that was in my regular day to day before or week to week. So that's one good thing about the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's interesting, like running a few different games through the week because of coronavirus and that extra free time. I have been enjoying that, and I'm trying to switch some of those times back towards like what would be normal times instead of just middle of the day. But it's definitely nice to actually have like daytime games too.
Mm, mm. Where
We
the
even
fuck
actually
is my?
start playing
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
until the. Oh, no worries.
Kind of broke up in those messages though, Justin. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying I never actually even started playing D&D until the pandemic. Like aside from like video games and stuff like that, but actual sort of the tabletop version. This is sort of my first go round, so that's a silver lining for sure.
Yeah, I played like 2 sessions online before the pandemic, and it was definitely a wasn't a steep learning curve, but it's definitely a completely different game running online versus like running with people. I really, really miss being able to see people's reactions, to look at people's faces, and read body language, because I feel like that's one of the things that is perhaps the most difficult aspect about not having like a video conference where I can like read people's boredom or interest, because there's definitely times where it's like if the group says, "Hey, let's skip this part," I'm like, "Oh, thank God, I don't want to go through all of this bullshit. I thought I was helping, like, explain shit to you guys if I had known." So there's definitely like big differences between playing on a virtual tabletop, but it has been a blessing for being locked in my office for a year.
I'm definitely going to look into trying to find a group, like an in-person group, once it's possible again in the area. So I feel like at least like maybe even somewhere in the city, or there's got to be groups I can find. So
Yeah, there's some really good resources online for helping find like real tables, as well as if you ever find essentially a store that runs Adventure League. Adventure League is a different kind of D&D because it's very blocked off as specific like 2 hours in very like one-shot styles. But Adventure League is a good way to meet people and kind of get into a campaign from meeting like-minded.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I'm not sure if I'd want. Yeah, like long term, I'm not sure Adventures League would be really a thing, but yeah, definitely get your point about like it's a good way to meet people and then sort of go from there.
Yeah, that's honestly what I understand a lot of people use it for, because it is very hard to have any time for actual role play because it's such perfect blocks of 2 hours. And then offhand, I don't see it right away in my bookmarks, but I'll actually look for the other link that I can help share for you, that is a good online resource for finding local tables.
Yeah, I've heard there's like a looking for group subreddit that's supposed to be okay. But yeah, I mean, I've got time. I got plenty of time to, start looking now. So
Oh yeah, especially being in Jersey, I feel like depending on how far you would be willing to travel to somebody else's house or whatever, I don't think you would have any problem looking on Reddit. So last session, we picked up from inside Cragmaw Castle. Guys had a extensive search around some of the paths that were the paths to and from Cragmaw Castle. Were able to track the hobgoblin and dwarf off into a direction where they disappeared, eventually tracking a dwarf and goblin off to the southwest, where you all eventually camped in what turned out to be a small grove beneath some giant spiders. Found a slightly less fortunate group of adventurers. I swear I didn't kill them, but I definitely killed them. You were able to lock down some, I believe, some nice little items, a nice little treasure find. I did want to throw it out there that in the process of when Edrin later cast Detect Magic, you would have seen that the silver raven that I believe Burke found on the bard I think he was looking over, that silver raven would have emanated a aura of transmutation magic. And
Cool.
so that would be something that I pass over. I definitely missed that. Another kind of correction on a little mistake of mine. You don't have to put cantrips into a spell book, so there wouldn't be cantrips in that spell book. And though I rolled for 2 rather useless cantrips, I am going to retcon those away from you, Edrin. So I hope you don't mind not having access to True Strike and the other one that I don't remember offhand, but robbed.
Blade Ward.
Yeah, I guess Blade Ward like somewhat doesn't like fully fuck the action economy, but True Strike is definitely a very rough spell to use that doesn't fuck the action economy. So after that little bit of time, I believe you all turned back, deciding that it was probably the wiser move to try to track King Grol, the bugbear, and try to find him with the other dwarf. And you turn back to the castle with a little bit more extensive of a search. You were able to track the bugbear had essentially gone north and then ducked off into the woods on the east side and started to travel south. And then you spent a extensive time, I believe about a day, tracking the bugbear as the Neverwinter Woods turned into a bit of a swamp. And you eventually encountered a small yellow fairy dragon, which that's when you would have cast the Detect Magic looking for this little fairy dragon. And you eventually kind of bribed the fairy dragon with the wand of Detect Magic, kind of piquing its interest over some of the magic items that you had. You were able to make a quick little friend, and it ended up helping you all through the rest of the swamp, finding it quite interesting as it could lead you all towards a quicker route towards the hobgoblin that it had seen earlier in that day, but also making sure that there was no
You guys
less.
still there?
Oh yeah, my bad. Did I drop out?
What?
Can you hear
No,
Burke?
I could hear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I think we lost Burke.
I'm back.
Hey.
Excellent.
Sorry about that.
All good. So I was just saying you guys had met the small fairy dragon, the yellow fairy dragon. It helped lead you all on a shortcut after the hobgoblin, which it found rude and no fun to play with. And while it led you all on a quick route after the hobgoblin, or not hobgoblin, the bugbear, making it so you didn't actually have to track Grol, it also made sure that you fell in many more holes in the swamp where you would get wet on a pretty regular basis, because that is what it found most hilarious about joining your party for such a short time. And we left off about 150 feet away from the camp of King Grol and the apparent dwarf that he stole away from the Cragmaw castle. So with that, I'm curious what everyone would like to do as you look on at dusk. It is a rather wooded area that you are still in. The ground itself is definitely like a spongy sort of swamp nature, so you're never completely sure of your footing. There's definitely a stench about the air, but there's also a small breeze that kind of passes through the trees from different directions at times. It's kind of giving you the clue that perhaps you were getting close to the southern side of the Neverwinter Woods. The breeze seems to at times come from like the southeast, sometimes from the southwest, but generally there's like more airflow in this area than the kind of like stagnant, almost like compressing nature that you are feeling through most of the rest of the trees in the swamp. And with that, I'll pop to you guys to see what everybody would like to do.
Do we see any signs of the wolf within the camp?
Make a perception check for me. At present, you do not see signs of the wolf.
Okay.
Because you feel really perceptive.
Actually, I
Alright.
remember when we were tracking him, did we ever see any wolf tracks, or did we just see King Rolls and the dwarf's tracks?
I don't recall ever seeing any wolf tracks. And then once we got into the swamp, we were really just following the dragon rather than trying to actually at the same time track any tracks, I think.
Yeah. I think it was all just dwarf and bugbear, so I don't know if we have to worry about the wolf.
I'm worried about the wolf.
Alright. Okay. Alright, so we got
Are we
Guy
killing the
over there.
bugbear or are we talking to him?
probably should kill him, right? That's what we're here for, you know? Kill him.
Round him, talk to him, then kill him?
Well, I think we
Yeah,
gotta we gotta separate the bugbear from the dwarf first, and then we can talk. So he doesn't try and use him as leverage against us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
the only issue there is if we want to try and take him by surprise, if we talk to him first, we'll lose that.
Okay, alright. I got a plan. I'm gonna run in.
We could try to knock him out.
We could
I
do
think
that.
he ends up dead either way, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm
ultimately.
gonna run in and snatch the dwarf, and then run away. Boom, and you guys can talk to him if you want.
I'd
Why
like
don't
to
we
see
just
if I
sneak
can get a
attack?
little
Sneak attack
closer
the
and yeah.
bugbear.
All right, well, fuck my plan. All right, whatever. I was just gonna run in, separate, and then you guys do your little sneak attack thing. Boom.
Well, I'm not sure we'll be able to get a sneak attack if you run in and go for the dwarf. Better to let us try to attack him, and then in the confusion of that, you rush in and grab the dwarf.
Yeah, I think if we, well, my like worry is if we don't kill him on the first, sneak attack, that he'll snatch him and try and with the Edrin and the goblins, he'll use him as like I said, leverage.
So,
Mm.
Mara, is the dwarf? How close is the? If we, assuming we can see both Grol and the dwarf, how close is he keeping the dwarf to him?
From this distance, you guys would have a pretty solid idea that the dwarf is essentially within arm's reach at this point.
Mm.
I don't think you would have any reason to suspect anything other than that the dwarf is some form of essentially still being held as captive, and as a captive, essentially it's still effectively, this is somebody who ran for a reason and is probably paranoid in that this dwarf is kind of their insurance on how they will survive.
Can I see If there's like, is there any way he's physically bound to him? He like tied himself to him in any way or form?
From this distance, you would not be able to tell. If you all would like to move closer, that is certainly an option.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some crossbow bolts from the woods on a rush all at once.
Yeah, I guess you know, I don't have to snatch him and run away. I could just like jump in front of him, you know, kind of like
Knock him out of the way.
yeah, just push the dwarf out of the way and then, um, yeah, stand in the way.
What about some shock and awe? Basically, us going in full blast, firebolting him close to him and screaming at him to get away from the dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
Try to intimidate him.
We can do that.
So it's about this moment that you all see as the bugbear stands up and begins to look in many different directions, but rather assuredly towards your general direction.
Okay,
I
duck
can
down.
smell you.
Duck down.
Your foul stench. The Dark One has sent you. Treacherous one. Show yourself. Let me look upon you.
Ty, should you and I just walk out there?
Well, Justin's going to try and he's going to try and conceal himself. Maybe fall prone and start like trying to crawl towards a. No reason for all of us to reveal ourselves.
I would kind of gesture towards Edrin and tell him kind of follow suit with Justin, and I'll say yeah to Burke, and we'll step out.
So, in general, you all would have been coming roughly from the west. What direction do you fancy yourselves having towards the end of that started to follow suit from?
So I'd probably go trying to keep the wind, just in case the wolf is somewhere nearby, trying to stay. You said the wind was coming out of the south, so I'd probably try and crawl towards the north.
Mm-mm.
While still staying about the same distance or so away from the camp as we are now.
Jen, are you following suit with Jessen?
Actually, I think I should probably follow Burke and Ty. Just because I don't think I can sneak in any way or form around someone that can smell me.
I think you hit a key word there, that sneaking around somebody who smelled you from 120 feet away is probably something that most of you cannot do.
I'm sorry, did we take a rest at some point?
We took a short rest.
Okay.
We'd long rested and we leveled up and then we fought spiders.
Yeah, you have
So I saw some
not
damage from
rested
that.
since the long rest where you leveled up.
Got you. Okay.
Alright, so here is the general map you all should be able to see now, where you are looking on the situation at hand. I know the spider employs your foul kind. Show yourself. Speak. Bring yourself forward.
So I guess we take a few steps out of the woods into where he can see us.
I'm just gonna walk like I guess straight there. I guess.
Here we are.
You think he's talking about us? The spider? What the fuck is he talking about?
I mean, the spider that we fought this morning in the woods, I guess.
I hear saying that. I don't know. There are men who talking spiders.
You do smell, though.
What? We all smell. What are you talking
Let
about?
me have an intelligence check from Burke and Ty.
Sorry, I'm trying to find
That
it.
seems about right.
Not a save,
Wow.
but it doesn't look like it matters that it was a save there.
Fuck. Where's
Sorry.
my shit?
To be honest, I think he's maybe smelling our spider eyes.
There we go. I don't know why I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that
I
big
wouldn't
bag of
either.
spider eyes that smells like a bunch of. Yeah.
That'll do it.
Excellent. So, Jessen, you feel stealthy. You can basically move like a bit of half distance as you are crawling around in this area.
Okay, I think that's about 15 feet there.
I may not be able to see you, but if your master wants this miserable dwarf... And then he stops as you kind of peek out. Stop following me and complete the contract we agreed upon.
Okay, he's definitely not talking about us.
He's
Definitely
looking
not talking
directly at you.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, I think he has us confused with somebody else.
Mm. Do we go along with this, or like,
Yeah.
what? Okay. Uh, you want to take it, or I can take this? I guess I give it a shot.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
We finished the contract. It's done. All right. So that's why we're here to get our shit. Okay. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Roll a deception for me.
God damn it.
Doesn't even have to be at disadvantage. Wonderful.
Uh,
How could the contract be finished when I have the dwarf? And he seems to glance away towards the east of you all as he raises his face to the air. Another. Who are you? Reek of one of his servants. And yet you also have the stench of humans.
So I think Justin's probably going to assume the another is talking about him. So, seeming that like stealth is not going to work, he's going to stand up and sort of start walking back towards the rest of the group.
I'm gonna just start walking towards them.
Yeah, we came to collect the dwarf, right?
The
Yep.
contract terms have changed.
As you all approach closer, he puts a blade up to the dwarf's neck. The contract is of no concern of yours. Hold your ground, or this quarry will pass on.
Shit.
Yeah, I rolled an 18 on his first perception check, just so you guys all know.
All right. Mm.
Well, we're here to pick up the dwarf.
There is still a way out of this for you. If you
If I were to turn on the black one, there would be no way out for me. There is no end but the death of you all.
Me, I'm kind of got my hands tied here. I can't do anything. Anybody else got anything over here? Got any magics over there, Edrin?
Yeah. Mostly offensive focus, but
I have a big
maybe can.
bag of gold that we could trade for the dwarf.
Oh yeah, we got all that shit. Wanna
200 gold pieces.
we wanna try and trade for the dwarf here, or
what if we could hide you from the black one?
And my clan, can you protect us all?
That is something to be discussed once you take that blade away from the dwarf's throat.
An interesting thought for one who would creep in the darkness, where there are four and I am but one. Is there cause for me to trust you?
Well, for one thing, if the dwarf dies, then you die. So there's that.
You think of me as nothing, do you?
Well, I mean, 4 against 1. I think we have the odds in our favor.
No one
I
needs to
feel
die
so
here.
confident now. But perhaps you would find things less favorable were we to draw arms.
how is the dwarf looking right now?
You can make a perception, and I can give you a description from how well you can see him. At this point, pretty much everybody could see he seems rather emaciated. As you kind of take some time to look over him, you kind of see different areas where he seems to be, maybe superficially wounded, but it is far away at this point to actually get a good idea. But he seems to be, showing signs that he has been hurt, perhaps on a regular basis, perhaps in the process of this escape. It's hard to really tell, but there seems to be many different points where there are wounds on his body from this distance.
Okay.
And I've come to the realization that not all people want descriptive torture scenes, but this dwarf has been tortured.
Gotcha. I figured that much from the description there.
I've gone into more horrific torture scenes in the past and kind of seen people perhaps leave because they didn't actually say, you know what, I don't actually need a description of that.
It probably wouldn't bother me. I don't know about everybody else. It didn't bother me.
I mean, if it would go so far that it would bother me, I would probably speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something I'd be bothered by. I don't think.
Yeah, we don't need to torture the dwarf right now, though, right?
No, definitely not happening right now.
Okay.
I don't mind. I don't mind if you torture. Like if you tortured Ty, I could sit through it.
All right.
Maybe Jason will. Sorry, whatever odds you think you have fighting us, they're worse than the odds you have speaking with us, working something out.
And we've come to pay for the dwarf because the contract has changed, right, Justin?
Yeah, what he said.
You come to speak, and we are speaking. Perhaps we can share the information that we have. You can learn from Grol. Grol can learn from you. And if by chance you offer protection for the Cragmaws, then we can find a resolution that bands us together with blood against the spider.
Well, being against the spider, we all have that in common.
Yeah, I don't really like spiders, so I don't think anybody else here does like spiders. So,
Justin really doesn't like spiders.
Yes, I would much rather deal with you than with spiders. And Jason will give another kind of just the word spiders enough to give him like a shudder.
yeah, we killed a few spiders on the way here. Actually, when we woke up, I hold up some eyes, the back of eyes I got, pull out an eye, and see. Look,
Guys, I don't think he's talking about actual spiders.
I think he means spider, the mastermind spider.
oh,
Who's a threat to everybody.
got it. Well, hey, look, we'll fuck up the guy spider like we fucked up these spiders here. So there you go, boom.
And what protection would you offer my kind? Humans have terrible to my people across the ages. It is no secret. You look down on our ways, call us beasts.
You're talking about the goblins, right? Are you just talking about bugbears? Which one are you talking about? We talked to a bunch of the goblins, and they said they don't like you at all. So I'm kind of curious.
Scum, feeble goblins. They are little more than service and tools.
Okay, same. Yeah, I figured that. All right.
It's true that humans and bugbears have often not gotten along, but we are different.
We're looking for
evolved.
We're looking for allies against the spider.
Yeah.
The enemy of one's enemy can be one's friend.
See, as his chest puffs up, and he lets out a long, loud roar into the night, and an eerie silence of all the insects and the little bits of noise that's natural to a swamp seems to just stagnate. And as the silence kind of just sinks down into the swamp, it becomes palpable as nothing kind of happens for a moment. And then he looks back down. The Cragmaws will treat with you, humans. Come, join my fire, and we will talk of what these foul dwarves are delving into. And he lifts up the dwarf by the scruff of his neck and kind of holds him 3 feet over the ground as you see this bugbear stands at probably about 6.5 or 7 feet tall.
So I guess Justin's going to glance to the others and say, I guess we're heading into his camp.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I wonder what bugbears have to eat.
As like Jason is sort of moving towards the camp, can he like kind of be keeping an eye out to see if he sees any signs of either the wolf or any other creatures present? Maybe make a perception check as he's walking.
You can definitely make a perception check. As you get closer to the camp itself, you seem that it does seem to be the bugbear and the dwarf, and there don't seem to be any other creatures. And as you kind of move forward into the camp, you sense that same kind of eerie quiet that has just not been present in this whole trip through the Neverwinter Wood. Whatever is going on here now, there's definitely a eerie feeling to what's going on.
Grol, how did you silence the woods, the forest?
That not the way of kings, to have power over their lands.
Indeed.
I'm pretty much sure he has scared away the wildlife.
You almost scared us away, too.
Tell me, why or how did you come upon my castle? Why did you come uninvited? See, as he kind of like looks across at all of you all, he's still sniffing in each of your directions. Let me have a group insight check from you all. He seems confused as he smells you all, as you are now sitting within mere feet of him. Something is wrong.
Are there other humans here?
Not humans that I wonder about. Who have you been traveling with?
Oh, you mean the fairy dragon?
Is that what that wretched creature was? But not that thing. That is another realm. Its smell is not so wretched.
You may be smelling Anzik. We had I don't know if you could call it pleasure of meeting your resident Nilbog.
The goblin's jester. They're but a fool.
Then your owlbear. We met your owlbear, too.
Oh yeah.
So perhaps you all know much less, and my information is more valuable. What would you pay?
Perhaps. How valuable do you think it is?
Perhaps enough to save your lives. Perhaps those you might care for. The one that I sense among you is far more treacherous than even you. As he kind of like looks down on Justin.
Edwin kind of whispers to Aston, might it be... Oh, what's the name of the other dwarf?
Gundren?
Yeah, right. Might it be talking about Gundren?
But we've all been traveling with Gundren.
The other Rockseeker.
Yeah.
In a safe place.
There is nowhere safe while the spider searches for their kind. These three may be the only ones who know the location of what he seeks.
Then allow us to question him as well. You may be able to persuade him.
My bad, I kind of missed the first part of that. Did you say, may I ask a question? Or maybe I just...
Sorry, so like Justin speaking to the bugbear, like allow us to question the dwarf as well. Essentially, he's trying to deceive him into letting us take sort of control of the dwarf.
You can roll a deception. Perhaps you could gain information from this dwarf. But at present, I still have little reason to trust you. You have given me empty promises that you can protect the Cragmaws, but you have still invaded my home and killed my kind. Speak as if you are on cordial terms with the goblins, but that means little. They will turn on you as soon as eat you. Show no great strength that the goblins respect.
It is wise not to reveal one's true strength until it is needed. We have merely been careful.
He quickly rotates as he draws his mace and hits into the tree right beside him, or right behind him, and the tree splits in half and crumbles over, falling just beyond the rock that Burke is on, and kind of falls below Burke, and then the other half falls like directly to the south, and in a quick instant, he's facing back to you all with his mace back in his kind of like belt sheath. Perhaps humans like to be deceptive and sneaks. Perhaps Grol has no interest in trusting those who would hide their strength. And most assuredly, goblins would turn on those who would hide their strength. A king is king because of strength. Now, I know I have great things to share with you. Still, I wonder what you can share with me. You need to know what I know. You need this dwarf here. His information means nothing to me. Cragmaw lives are at stake because the Dark One has found us. Not because we want to serve, but because strength requires we serve.
Well, we want to protect the people of Fandalen from the Dark One as well, but we, I think, know less than you do about him.
If you have routed the castle, my people have one last stronghold. We will turn and head to the west, to the east. If you will leave us our hunting grounds, perhaps we can become allies. But I cannot give you the dwarf with nothing more than empty promises. Perhaps all you care for is those in that wretched town, and I can share what I know, and you might find cause to trust me. But the dwarf will have a cost that you must pay. And with that, I want everybody to decide if you would like to give trusting a chance. I want you to do a, let's see. It's just a wisdom if you don't intend to trust him. You can do either a deception or just a straight wisdom, I guess.
Okay, so it's probably way too late to incite him.
I want to trust him, Ty. So
I mean, he's trying to read you all right now. So he's essentially in that stage of this is what he is doing as he puts that offer forward, is trying to get an impression from you all. So I just want you all to kind of decide, as he's put that forward, what are your initial thoughts? I think with that in mind, he's already spent time treating with you, so you have information on that level. I don't believe you could go kind of further into inciting, because at present he is kind of put himself out there to try to figure out, if I trust these people, what might come from it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you want a wisdom check if we want to trust him?
Yeah, just straight wisdom. If you are open to trust. I assume Justin is not trusting, and he's trying to deceive right now. Or is that an old check? I feel like that's new.
No. So that deception check was for trying to get him to hand us the dwarf.
Okay, word, yeah. So it's still on you all. Basically, it's the charisma or deception, or rather, it's deception if you have proficiency, or wisdom if you want to kind of go with him. I guess really it's still deception if you want to try without proficiency. Yeah, I think that's probably the right way to do it.
Yeah, so I think Jason thinks he seems legitimately scared of this spider person, but he probably wouldn't be really ready to trust him. So it'll probably be deception for him. He'll try to give the bugbear the impression that he trusts him.
Yeah, historically, you all have basically come in contact with a few tiers of goblinoid culture. And the goblinoids, as he has said, they respect strength and its outward shows of strength. So he kind of gave you, that's at least something that you all at least would not be surprised to hear, that the Cragmaws don't necessarily care to serve this master so much as when you show strength, goblinoids kneel. So that's at least some level of extra information that you guys would gain from essentially insight checking. But he's still basically reading you all as he put that forward to see if he shares this information, if he believes that it will be to a proper end.
Well, and I believe him. He seems to be what he says he is to me. A big, scary, strong, angry, shitty bugbear who doesn't like the situation he's in.
Mm-hmm.
So is that, for me, is it a wisdom check just on my wisdom +3, or is it one with proficiency? Like, should I use my insight check to make it?
It's not specifically insight, because more or less the reason why I'm calling for a wisdom is the idea that, like, wisdom is often like knowing what to say in a situation. So it's not necessarily a performance check where it's like an outward expression, but it is intelligently hiding that there are shitty aspects to a bugbear, but also being wise enough to basically like go along with, I kind of see the predicament of where this bugbear is. So it's just kind of a straight wisdom for you.
Well, that's where I'm at. So cool.
Yeah, Edron is probably at the same, that he trusts the bugbear to not like the situation he's in, basically.
You trust the bugbear to act like a bugbear?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'll follow suit.
It's trusting that he's going to share information, that you guys are going to share information in kind. That's also part of it too.
Jesus Christ.
If
Yeah, I feel
I'm
good
rolling.
about sharing what little information we have.
I'm rolling shit.
We don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we could share what we know. We don't know shit, but we could share it.
Ty, you can make up for being strong. That can be your.
Wait, what?
You can make up for it by being strong because you're the
Yeah.
strongest one, right? So
I'll
guess
tell you
so.
what, I rolled a 3 with him, so he was fucked from the start. That 24 from deception basically won him over. It is.
Oh, that was a contest check.
Oh yeah. He was essentially
Gotcha.
insight checking all of you.
We are what we look like. Smell
It
the human.
has not been long since you all have traveled with one of his lieutenants. One of the few creatures, perhaps if any creature, the Dark One trusts. He uses them to manipulate. And they are strong in their skills to become those they need to be. Does this ring any bells for you? Can you think of anyone who was exactly who you hoped they would be?
I'm thinking maybe the second Screech? I'm not sure.
Or the false screech who sent us at the castle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the much more efficient Screech.
The goblin priest.
Yeah, him.
No. The first Screech at the Cragmaw Hide, the one who
Oh,
conveniently
the-
disappeared after he led us to the
Mhm.
castle.
Right.
the not real Screech.
Yeah, that fucking guy.
The Screechinator. Got it.
After he fucking held his child before we left the cave. Little fucker. Remember that?
You guys get a DNA test? You are not the father.
He just grabbed a baby and was like, "Oh, this is my child." Kissed him on the forehead and ran off. Little shit.
Sure as hell manipulated you all into thinking maybe this goblin has kids.
All right.
Yes. If you have met two of the same creature, then you have begun to meet his lieutenants. These creatures are foul in their acts. They will do anything to reach his ends. Perhaps you too are already employ of the Dark One. This black spider who haunts these lands. And again, he lifts the dwarf up and kind of like turns him to stare into his face. To find this foul kingdom that you hide for your greed?
I'm kind of curious. When you talk about the dark spider, is that like a person or a being, or is it like an organization or what?
Can't rightly tell you that I know. Or, well, I believe I have met this one. It's not until well afterwards that I began to recognize the smell of these changelings and come to understand that I don't know if I've ever met the spider, or if I only ever met them pretending to be it.
Girl, tell us more about the contract and delivering the dwarf. What are you supposed to do, and how can we help you?
Our freedom, our lives, continuing on the path we were on. It's been contingent on delivering these dwarves. I sent goblins to take this one and ambush any other dwarves on the Tribor. He is asked for the dwarves. He is asked for a map. Deliver the map. We are free. I do not trust him. I do not trust him, but it is what he has said. I know not any other course of action than to go along with him till I find any who would stand up.
If you
Go on.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Jess was going to say, if he has asked for the dwarves and you deliver the dwarves to him, you are only increasing his power and lessening your chances of escaping from his grasp. Does he truly seem the type who will just let you go when this is done?
If he satisfies his needs, perhaps he will forget us.
So I,
Have you-
random question here. Is he the type of guy, if we all go up and help you deliver this dwarf, can we kill him just outright? Or I'm assuming not, but just I thought I'd throw that in there. Just a little, question.
I mean, if we're not even sure that the one we're meeting is the real one, I'm thinking that's kind of a mute question.
It is always difficult to perceive the ways of those who wield magics. I do not believe any in this region are prepared to fight these dark ones, and assuredly would be wise to remove the changelings before you encounter the master. Very least, reducing his allies. Joining forces with Cragmaws is a great way to reduce his allies.
as is preventing him from getting what he seeks. The dwarves and the map.
If he would kill all of my people for knowing that we gave him away, preventing what he seeks serves not for our freedom, but they would all be dead.
Okay. All right. My brain's starting to work here. Everybody, watch out. I'm starting to think of a plan here. We
Yeah,
got a
don't
good
hurt
one.
yourself.
I'm good. Okay. So why don't we say fuck this guy, right? And we find the city first, get shit from there. Okay. All right. You follow me? And then we go get him. Hmm. That's a good one right there.
People have
mean,
been
I'm-
searching for this lost city for hundreds of years. Do you think we can find it ourselves?
No, well, look, we got the dwarf here, right? And we got another. Well look, we can find the map, right? All of us together, all right? Band up, group together, right? Get some more allies, you know. Yeah, I think that'll work. You know, I think we're a smart guy. We got Edrin, over here. You know, we can do this. Those guys before were probably stupid as shit. You know, they probably couldn't find it, but we can find it. Pretty positive. All these fucking goblins. He's got a whole army of goblins. You know, right?
Not that I don't enjoy your faith in me, but I still think we should at least find out why they want the city before finding it.
Look, it doesn't matter why they want. I imagine there's a whole bunch of shit in there, probably a bunch of gold in there, but that's not the point. This, you know, there's probably a whole bunch of like power, probably a bunch of cool shit that I could use to kill this guy. You know, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, if they're searching for something in the city, then that's one thing. If they're searching for the city itself, that's another thing. If they're searching for the city for some kind of magic ritual, that's the third thing.
Yeah.
Tell
In any
me
event-
how you found yourselves at my castle. How did you find yourselves in the employ of the spider's changeling?
Well, we find it in search of the dwarf.
And why were humans searching for a dwarf?
Because we're business partners. It's what we do.
We were hired, perhaps under false pretenses, but we won't know that until we have more information, which again leads us back to our need to question this dwarf.
Hired by who?
I kind of look towards everyone else. Kind of gesture. Are we gonna talk about this, or like, are we gonna tell them about them, or
Sure.
I don't know.
The other Rockseeker hired us.
And what were you promised by this dwarf? Why do you trust dwarf?
We guarded his caravan when he came to the town, and he paid us. That's the limit of our agreement with him.
Yeah, pretty, you know, respectful guy. You know.
Dwarves do not share their treasures lightly, and they will not look back on time of a paid service as the rightful reason to own their treasures. Their treasures are theirs, and these foul ones will always return what is theirs. And he smacks the dwarf across the face.
All right. Well, there's no need in any of that now. Come on.
If we can roll this back to being allies with Cragmaw, we're interested in that idea. How can we help you to show our faith that we're trustworthy?
We need a sanctuary where we are safe from the humans, just as much as safe from the spider. You intend to bring war to the spider? Perhaps that is your own doom, and you are welcome to it. Still hesitate to share what you know with me, despite me sharing how close you are to the spider already.
All right.
Well, guys, do we have anything else that we haven't shared? That Grol, we didn't know we'd met a changeling.
Yeah, but
Thank
we
you
really
for that
didn't.
information. That was helpful. That explained a few things for us.
Mm-hmm. We're
To be
all.
perfect-
Go
Sorry.
ahead. You go ahead.
Well, to be perfectly honest, we're not really sure we actually met a changeling either way. Well, that the one we think of is the changeling, at least.
All right.
But
All right.
how do we tell?
Grol can smell it on us.
Yes, but how can we tell that the one we're thinking of is the one he's smelling and not someone else?
I guess we don't. But I got a feeling that one, the way he disappeared like that, and then we walked straight into another screech that's completely different. That's a pretty good tell sign, I would think.
And we always trust Ty's intuition, right? That's what we
Let me
always
have
do.
everybody make a history check. Edrin, you would 100% recognize long before we actually get the group roll that the Screech you met instructed you all exactly where to go and where to murder all of the goblins present, where Screech was.
Mm.
Yeah.
The moment
Okay,
there
he
you go.
saw inside of the castle, he's like, you know what? You guys should raid into this place and murder all of the goblins. It's not safe to talk to these goblins here.
that is true. And he is the one that actually asked us first to kill the bugbears.
So Grol is going to raise his nose to the air again. And after a few sniffs, he is going to drop his head back to you all. You are welcome to question this dwarf. My clan approaches, and if you flee with him, I assure you, we will find you, and we will overwhelm you. If you can gain the dwarf's trust and get him to share what you need to know, all the better. You have maybe 7 minutes before we return, but it is best that I speak with the orcs before they see you and calm them from their bloodlust. So, I once again will trust you. If you flee with the dwarf, please recognize that I myself am a challenge for the four of you. But the raiding party that comes now, we will destroy you all. And he sets down the dwarf and kind of removes the bindings from him. And he walks away to the east.
Well, we got what we wanted, huh?
Suggestion. Can we run through the swamp and see if we can get the fairy dragon to cover for us? Is that
Well, this dwarf is probably not in prime shape to go running.
I got him.
Carry him.
I can do it.
Yeah, no,
Burke wants to stay.
Yeah.
Tharden, what do you know about what Grol has just said? Speak quickly.
At present, the dwarf is essentially unconscious.
Okay.
There will be some level of you all have to do something in order to bring him back to any state of maybe not like fully being conscious. He's not necessarily like taking death saves at this point. But he is surely not showing any signs of vitality.
So you'll lean down and give him some
Need some hit
water
points.
from a water skin.
I mean, would some healing help?
Yeah, I was about to say, can you heal him, Burke, real quick? A little touchy poo in there.
Sure, I can cast Healing Word on him. I didn't realize he was out of hit points. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Instead of smacking him, we can just do that, right?
I don't think we should smack.
A tortured man. He's like
Yeah.
bleeding all over the place. Fucking.
He's been getting smacked a lot. It hasn't been very productive. I think we have to figure out something we can tell Grol that he doesn't know, and I don't know anything he doesn't know right now.
Yeah, straight up.
We
we
know
like
Gundren. We like worked for Gundren for a minute. This is Gundren's brother, right?
yeah. Well, Jason's probably the best liar here. You can see it on his face. You
Yeah,
can
I
tell
think
him
more
like
than anything, Grol was looking for you all to have essentially a place to hide the Cragmaws, or a place to offer them shelter, while you essentially go to war with the Black Spider.
uh,
Can we negotiate with the town for them, maybe?
um,
I don't think the town's gonna let in a bugbear clan.
Well, I
um,
mean, they could provide extra protection, and they stop raiding, well, travelers to the town.
Well, we could go find a place for him. That could be the next thing we do. We just don't have the place today.
right. I was gonna say we'd lie and say we like, oh, we got the map somewhere or some bullshit, and then like, that's information. But no, I don't think he's
Yeah.
looking for anything like that. Yeah, I guess we'll like.
Or you?
Oh, you go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say like we say we're kind of like what y'all are talking about. Like we'll do some work for them and try and find a place for them to hide, and then yeah, I guess yeah, we'll do that work
We
for
can-
him.
We could also tell him that the dwarves know the area, so we can force them. If he lets us take the dwarf with us, we can force them to reveal a spot that the bugbears can use to hide.
Yeah, that's better. We just gotta talk to Gungren and see if he knows of someplace. Is this guy still unconscious right here?
You know
Oh.
Gundren?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's who sent us to come get you.
Yeah, we're friends with and work for Gundren. We're here to rescue you.
Where is Undra in danger?
We don't really know at the moment. Hey, do you know of any places for these fucking orcs and bugbears to hide? You know of any place that would conceal a big group like that?
Yeah, like any old fortresses or relics of the past like that.
There's no reason to trust such foul things. Hiding them would serve little purpose.
Well, we just needed some sort of bargaining chip to get you the fuck out of here. So I guess maybe he'll let you go with us, or probably not. Whatever. Just to get us out of a situation right now, that would be helpful.
Yes, our options at present are limited by the circumstances we find ourselves in.
Where's Nundra, who's in danger?
Camp when they captured me. And I believe he got away where we were. And not far. And he gets pretty quiet after a moment. And I need everyone to make just straight wisdom checks for me.
Hey, there it is. Finally, something above 10.
Gundren told you why we are here.
Not enough. He's been quite cagey. We need to know to be able to help you.
We are the last.
Only that you seek.
Go on, Jason.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Nope, I want you to finish. Only that we.
Only that you are searching for a lost dwarven city in the area.
The last of our clan. That city is our city by right. City was once a proud bastion. 3 races that came together once. Many ages of man ago. I was young. It fell. Others were born shortly after its fall. It is far more important, greed of their kind.
Do you know anything about this spider that Grol's going on about?
We believe to power in Coneyberry Tribor, who he is. Not know any more of where he comes from. Heard whispers is why Gundren went to Neverwinter. I assume to procure your help.
Mm.
Burke remembers there's a reward for orcs out at the mining camps in Coinberry. It was on the town master told us about it when we first got to town.
Yeah, I don't think we're at that point where we can take these guys on just yet. I would like to. I think it was like 100 gold or some shit like that, some crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're
Perhaps
at
the
that
fairy
point.
dragon can, if we can get back into the swamp, and the fairy dragon hide us. Edrin, do you know of any way to get back in touch with it?
I mean, not directly. More than just shooting for it.
We got to give it some shit, right? That was the whole thing before. We have to give him some stuff to.
Yeah, I mean, we could, if we found him, we could probably offer the, what was it, the raven thingy?
What can we give to Grol? So he'll think we're his allies, or let us go off and do a task for him.
I do not want to give him fucking gold. But I think that may be the only thing we can really give this dude. We're not in a position to give him.
Can we find this map? What about the map he's asking for? Tharden, do you know what he's talking about?
We created of the different places we have searched. We all have ancestral reasons to know where to start our search. Spider wants these, as he knows we have found it. Knows how close we are. He has spies everywhere.
And could we fake a map? Like give him a map, but not the right one.
Edrin can make a map with the dwarf. We could give that to Grol.
Sure, we have time for it though.
I don't like this.
We make a map. We make him a map. But I will not show anyone where it is. He recognizes this. Spider will either kill his entire kind, or they will come down on your human and destroy everything. There are no dwarves left in this realm to threaten on any great level. Three of us recognize our danger, and we would all die to hide it. Ready to make the same bargain, your kind.
I'm not ready to make any bargains on behalf of the humankind.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to give this spider what he wants.
I agree with that.
I don't believe that we should make a map real or fake.
All right. What do you think we should do here? Huh? All right. What do you think?
Surely there is no other choice than to die in battle. A weapon that I can well against my oppressors.
Okay. Well, that's not a good choice. That's
Yeah,
not what I
no.
was hoping for.
Yeah, off table, you're never going to get anything out of me other than cowards or people who are ready to die. I'm not going to solve your problems for you all.
Gotcha. I wasn't looking for that. I was just kind of curious on what this guy was thinking.
Tharden, can you direct us to your camp so we can go try to find your brother if we get out of this?
Yeah, if we get out of this.
So, like, during this whole conversation, how much time has passed, Mara, like in game?
It doesn't necessarily have to take too much time. We'll kind of see once you all are kind of finished with generally what you want to try to discuss. We'll kind of see where that puts things. But overall, I would say this is at approximately like a minute's time passing kind of thing. Between healing him, kind of having a conversation as he comes to consciousness, and then the last few moments of you kind of questioning him and going into this conversation.
Okay, thanks.
But as far as like planning goes, I don't want to, like, time is very flexible up until we're in initiative. That's where it gets very strict on the 6 seconds. So I don't want to force you all to skip over things because you are trying to rush. But you do also understand that essentially every moment until you decide whether you would like to run or not is time lost on running. But again, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Does anyone think we can escape and evade orc hunters on a bugbear who can smell us from 120 feet away?
Definitely not with a wounded.
We can't outrun them, but we would have to find somewhere to hide, or well, not hide. He can smell us. Fuck. We would have to outrun them.
Jump in
have
the
to outrun
swamp
them.
water?
Yeah, ourselves and shit. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean,
The only thing I can
Or
think.
beseech the dragon to hide us.
yeah, that's a possible option. Do we want to take that risk though?
Will not flee to the land of the fairies. And I do not believe anyone should trust the fairy folk.
I'm sort of with that. I trust the bugbear more than the fairy.
I mean, I
For
trust the fairy to.
Obvious.
Yeah. I trust the fairy to be a fairy, and that it's not good for us or anyone.
We're essentialists, aren't we? Everybody acts exactly like everybody is expected to act. Orcs, bugbears. So I think we have to be in Grol's employ at the end of this. Finding the other dwarf is something that we could do that he needs done.
Let's take a vote. Let's take a vote right now. Are we running? Or I can run this dude. I can run with this dude the whole way. Maybe half. I don't know. All right, let's take a vote. Who wants to run? Raise your hand. My hand is down.
I'm just saying, if we run through the swamp at least. That's probably our best bet. If we run.
I think we have to run right now if we're gonna run. And that's what I think.
I don't think you have any takers on the running, Ty.
Okay, so no running.
Anybody?
We're not
No.
doing it.
You know,
I
I
don't
just
tr-
don't think we could actually get away from them.
It'd be risky, but you know, it may be possible. Probably not. Whatever. So no running. I'm all right. Let's cower this dude and just get out of here.
If we run now, we also burn any possible bridges with the bugbear. If we can buy time with him, convince him to let us take the dwarf. Say we can go retrieve the map and figure something else from there.
We need to find the other dwarf to get the map. The one that,
Maps in
that we don't know.
pieces.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great.
Yeah, so
I
don't
mean, our
think we should
party
actually
makes friends with everybody, right? That's what we've been doing the whole time. It's making friends with everybody you never think we'd be friends with.
Well, look, it is the whole thing with this is if we let this guy go and let them take this dwarf here, he's gonna die. That's the thing, right? He's going to die. He's gonna take him to the suit and he's gonna ask him, like, "Hey, lead us to the city." He's gonna say no. He's gonna kill him. That's basically the situation, right?
Yes, that's why we need to convince the girl to let us take the dwarf for now.
I mean, that's probably not gonna happen.
So it'll take all three dwarves together to get a map, right? And so
They all know where it is.
They don't need the map.
Correct.
I was thinking we would tell Grol that it would take more dwarves than just this one to get him a map.
They took precautions, so even in the case that one of them got captured, they wouldn't be able to give up
Wait, wasn't
the map.
wasn't Gungren saying before that he was
That
his brother was looking for the city? Why would they say they were looking for the city?
well, this
They
is the
knew where it
story
was.
we're going to tell.
No,
Would be my suggestion.
okay.
You were able to locate an open cavern after Gundren left.
Oh,
He left when we first found signs. On the right track. Found the old gate, destroyed and caved in. No access. And it was not until he was away we were able to delve deeper. He still knows enough. He is in danger. He knows less. Nundro and myself.
And what have you told Grol so far yourself? Has he been able to extract any information from you?
Goblinoids and dwarves have no. I have shared nothing with their foul kind. Share nothing. And he kind of reaches his arms up, and you just see that there's cuts and wounds across pretty much every inch of his flesh.
I'm curious, what's so important about this city? Not just to you, but to the spider.
You any great understanding history of this realm? Anybody with a history proficiency, please roll a history check for me.
I wonder who that is. There it is.
And Elver Pact. Does that ring a bell to you? And with that, it would recall a time some few hundred years before your birth. It is something that has somewhat dropped into almost a mystical past, where it means very little to kind of these modern times, as it was sort of a minor thing in the history of the Sword Coast of the times and the once great Netherese empires. But the Phandelver Pact in particular was a metropolis that has never been seen before. It was a convergence of three great races: humans, gnomes, and dwarves, all working as not necessarily a single unit, but all working together. The dwarves had a great mine with very much rich mineral resources. The humans had extremely powerful Netherese mages who served and worked together with the dwarves and the gnomes, and the gnomes were creating fantastic inventions to use the creative powers of the dwarves and the magical powers of the humans. And together they were creating not only an extremely stable and prolific kind of bastion in this area, but it was just raining wealth with how many things that they were creating, both extremely magical trinkets as well as magical weapons of war. And the Phandelver Pact was this occasion where dwarves, humans, and gnomes came together. And you recall at some point that it was destroyed by raiding war parties, but don't explicitly recall the specific time that it kind of happened.
Yeah, I repeat all that back, basically.
You tell him how impressed we were with his ancestors.
Doesn't sound like this place is still possibly chock full of magical items and weapons and armor. Doesn't sound like it's something we want this spider to get its hands on.
Anyone to rule that place must be a dwarf. No one should find it. Not intend to share it. Those who would take it by force.
Wait, I'm questioning. Why does it have to be a dwarf to rule the place if you find it when it was an alliance of 3 races?
It is our kingdom. And you see a vicious glow to his eyes as a deep hatred wells up inside of him, with the slightest thought of a dwarf not reigning over the kingdom.
Okay,
Mm.
then.
Well, it's probably a good chance it's not gonna be you. Sorry. Fuck. I'm sorry, but mm.
We'd all love to see it be Gundren, though, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Our kind lived as guests in our palaces. The gnomes came as emissaries to our castles. You are but visitors to our land. It is a dwarvish kingdom, and we would see only a dwarf on its throne.
Well, I mean, there's 3 of you left.
I think we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
We,
sure.
I think we might need to return to the matter immediately at hand.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, I still have no thoughts of what to give this dude at all. Or any way to talk our way out of this.
We could tell him we'll go after the false screech,
Yeah, that. But like, I mean,
capture one of these changelings.
yeah, I meant like,
I mean, I don't think
how
he's
he,
just gonna want like some gold to let us go. I don't think that's gonna be enough here.
right. I was saying like more of us leaving with this dwarf. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I mean,
I think a goal of interrupting the delivery of this dwarf to the spider would be a start while we go find the other dwarf.
Hmm.
We just
Like,
need to buy some time.
Yeah.
okay. I'll just like say like, and while we go look for the changelings and stuff, tell this guy to kind of like hold up, like kind of stall him. You know what I mean? Like kind of take his time on his way to delivering this dwarf. Is that what we're thinking, or?
Or we could find out. Yeah, I think so. But we could find out where he's supposed to deliver the spider to. Maybe if we knew that location, we would be able to investigate further. That's another piece of information that I'd like us to have.
if we
Mhm.
knew where they're gonna drop him off, we could theoretically ambush the place and save the dwarf as they're turning him over. Then they
Yeah,
are not.
right. I think that he wouldn't be going straight to the spider too. It would probably be like another underling, maybe. You know?
Like we could be those underlings. It'd be great.
Mm.
Will Darden tell us where his camp was so we can go find his brother who escaped? Because Gundren wants that too. Everybody wants that third dwarf.
I mean, it
Maybe
still doesn't feel right to give the dwarf either.
Gundren knows enough to find Nundro. If he cares to search for him, you all are not prepared to die in battle. Do not believe I should share more information with you at present. But I will tell you this. They will not kill me until they get a search for. Bugbear does not trust the master that he serves. Heard much of what they have tried to accomplish. And for now, leave. That is the choice. Turn me to them. Fight to the last.
Well, I have no interest in dying gloriously in a futile, hopeless battle.
Right. I could probably maybe kill 1 or 2 orcs, and then I'm probably dead. Maybe not even 1. So,
Yeah, no, orcs. I don't think I can kill 1 either.
And that was Jason speaking in character. So
You all speak of the danger of orcs And he places his hand to the ground and then looks at you all and looks down at his hand to the ground. You are far from the earth. For those who walk on its surface, they come also with an ogre.
Fuck.
And they are not far. And it's about that time where you all hear a tree split to the east as a large tree kind of falls down in the forest about 100 or so feet from you all. You see Grol at the front of 4 orcs and a ogre who stands almost twice as tall as Grol. And we're going to take a quick break and see where you all go in this potential. Again, with the idea that either Tharden is going with Grol or you guys are battling to the death.
Mm.
And I'm going to throw it out there again. Grol versus your party was possibly a balanced fight. So.
Well, we could take Tharden at his word that they won't kill him yet and just sort of, I mean, there's only so much we can do for him. Getting killed fighting these guys.
Doesn't help him.
No.
Right, exactly.
And he does not trust you all enough at present. It's again kind of the point that as far as they are concerned, their secrets are worth dying for so that nobody ever finds this kingdom. And that again is kind of a throwback to the different little bits of information you all have gotten. That dwarves are greedy fuckers, and they have no intention of being forced to share what they believe is theirs.
Yeah, they're a bit fanatical in their greed there.
Yeah, I really like Tolkien style of dwarves, where they'll give you a piece of jewelry, and then once that person dies whose jewelry it was, it's meant to go back to dwarves, not to their child.
Yeah, I get a very Hobbit feeling from these dwarves.
Yeah, like not letting Bard and his the Rivertown people, after they killed Smog for the dwarves, he's like, nope, fuck you.
Yeah, they're very a contractual race, where it's oh, it's in the contract? All right, that makes sense. And then your kid's yeah, well, you made this deal with my father and he gave it to me. And they're yeah, but the contract says your father. It doesn't say anything about you. So, fuck you. We'll go to war over this. So, yeah,
Well,
just going to take a few moments. Oh, my bad.
Sure. No, I was just going to say, if we're out of the encounter, I don't think we're fighting an ogre, the 4 of us. So we're leaving Tharden here. In Burke's quite pragmatic opinion about this. What do you guys think?
I mean, if we're not fighting and we're not running, then we're leaving him. So.
Yeah, we talked to Grol. We maybe try and get some more information, but obviously too late to run at this point. even if we could convince Tharden to run with us, which I don't think we will.
We need to come away with a way to contact our new ally Grol when we finish the task that we're going to promise him we're going to do. You know what I mean? So that he thinks we're useful. I don't have any better ideas. Yeah, go. What do you want to try, Edwin?
I mean, like we said before, we could try to negotiate them keeping the dwarf while we go kill a changeling for them. And we get the dwarf in exchange for killing.
We get information from that changeling on where Spider is and if there's any way to kill this guy. I don't know, something like that maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and then share that with the bugbears and goblins and orcs and all the other.
The whole idea is that he doesn't know anything about Spider, really. Yeah, he knows he's a magical guy, whatever. But if we have some sort of maybe weakness or location or anything about him, and yeah, we kind of just base that alliance on we'll go find these guys and kill them and see if we can get anything out of them, shake something loose maybe.
And we're absolutely sure we can't try to make an alliance between orcs, bugbears, and humans.
I think you're the right man for that job, veteran.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, you did with the pretty good with the fairy dragon, so yeah, you could probably do it.
And with the
Yeah.
goblins.
Yeah.
Don't think I can bribe the town's mayor into being less of a spineless man to actually make a deal with goblins and orcs and other things.
I think Ty and I could replace the town master with you pretty easily.
I don't think that would be a good idea.
Insurrection is not the solution to this problem.
Oh.
I mean, if we could, sorry.
If there's a place for insurrection, it is definitely at the D&D table.
I mean, if we could convince the people that the orcs and bugbears can protect them from the red brands, then we might have a chance, maybe.
Maybe we should protect them from the red brands and make you the town, the mayor.
I feel like
Anyway.
being a major can cut into the time I have in reading books.
Well, we have
go to the humans like.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, just like, yeah, we go to the humans. We're like, good news, we got rid of the red brands. Bad news, there's an army of bugbears, goblins, and hobgoblins that want in now.
Yeah, they're nice, and they're going to live on the south side of town. It's going to be fine.
You hear them just fucking up the woods.
So if you all need more time to actually discuss this in character, I'm perfectly fine delaying this happening. I gathered that you all were close to a resolution, and were not going to run, so that's why I took it to that point, because it was also a good time to take a break like that. But you all are welcome to think of creative ways to satisfy Grol's need for a place that protects the Cragmaws. And that's what he is looking for in order to ally with you all. But it is 100% me throwing it out there to you all that you just have to think of something creative to come up with the solution. I have some in mind, but overall, usually it's the type of thing where a random solution from one of the four of you is probably going to be so much better than necessarily what I was thinking. But I feel like you all have enough information that with creative thought you should be able to come up with something, and it's purely up to you all how you would like to accomplish it. But that's basically where I think it's kind of left at, is that's the third option that you seemed to just be kind of going further and further away from. But it was run, fight to the death. I guess fourth option. Run, fight to the death, give Thundren back to them, or offer them safety.
Yeah, can they make friends with a manticore?
I mean,
if they could, they would probably be pretty safe.
I mean, we can tell them we have the beginnings of a plan, but we need more time.
Mm.
Yeah, so again, he was going to get the orcs to actually let them know that they were walking into, like, a treaty situation. And that's why he left you all with the dwarf. He wanted to see if you all could get more information from Tharden, as well as basically prevent the more or less immediate bloodshed that would come from orcs walking into that conversation.
Okay.
Why don't we just go take a break and we'll come back? I guess that's kind of what you're shooting for. We'll kind of think of it over the thing. I don't know if I don't really need to. I was just saying that yeah, I think we're just gonna keep talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, none of us, we don't know any place that we could send them that would be safe, right? I don't know of any place. Do you?
Nah.
Nah, we don't really know any place. That's why I was thinking in allying with the humans, just to get, well, more people equals more safety.
Yeah, I thought we could ally with the bugbear. Sounds like the orcs are going to kill us. That's unfortunate.
Mm.
It sounds like Grol's commanding the orcs. so he can stop them.
Was he really commanding them? Was he more like going in there, like, oh, please don't kill the people we're trading with?
Well, I mean, the only reason they'd listen to him is if he had some pull with him.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think he definitely was giving the impression that he was higher than them and that the orcs were among the Cragmaws.
Yeah, he's the king, right? He called them. He gathered them with that crazy roar that he did. So we just have to wiggle our way out of this negotiation. Probably and leave him with the dwarf.
Say we'll talk to the guys in the town. Try and set
We're
up
fine.
something to where they can stay somewhere around there and kind of hide. Something like
Well,
that.
they're not even hide, but more like they can actually produce an alliance between the orcs and bugbears and humans. That could actually benefit the town too.
The Red Barons are fucking assholes. So they like steal from the people. I don't know if we want to have them have an alliance. You know what I mean? They could get along and then start, fucking things up really bad. You know what I mean?
Well, to be fair, I don't think the Red Brands would get along well with orcs and bugbears. Just don't have that feeling.
Yeah,
If we can get him to hang on to Tharden while we go get Gundren, maybe we can build an alliance and go take out the spider. That gets everybody what they want.
It doesn't even have to be a permanent alliance. Could just be a temporary to get rid of the spider.
Yeah, I mean, aren't all alliances temporary, really? So that seems right.
Yeah, so I generally assume that if any of you all ever need to use the bathroom, you go, like, at need. So if everybody's back, we can hop back into it. I usually take a moment to use the restroom and, like, actually stretch. It's kind of more necessary, I feel like, as the DM to take a break. But when we're online, I don't necessarily assume that you all are attached to your computer in the same way. So if everybody's all good, we can pop back into it and kind of see where things go.
I'm good, but
Yeah, me too. I'm standing in my kitchen eating food.
Yeah, like I said, I'm cool. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm also good.
So yeah, we kind of left it at Thundrin put his hand to the earth and basically signaled to you all that an ogre was among those who were approaching. And he seemed hesitant at the idea of your alliance if you all were not willing to die with him in battle. But at present, we'll kind of leave it there for a moment as Grol and the orcs start to approach camp. A good distance off from the camp, they seem to hold as Grol raises his hand and returns into the center of the camp with you all.
It's quite a crew, Grol.
It is one of our hunting parties.
But you haven't been able to find the rest of the dwarves that you're looking for. Did you say there were 2 more Rockseekers?
Yes, rats can often be difficult to find.
Well, that might be something we can help with.
Do not intend to help my master. If you all are able to help my kind, I see you've brought the dwarf back to his own. And he, like, raises a fist to see his Thundrin doesn't even, like, flinch to him. What has the dwarf told you? Will he share the location of his kingdom?
That's a big old no. Not probably not gonna happen.
I'm glad you did not flee with him. It is shame to have to chase you, kill you all. Running is such poor
We thought that too.
So, I have little choice but to return with the dwarf to our last stronghold and hope to gain the information my master seeks before he next comes, or to step into a revolt that will get all of my people killed. What say you?
When is your master expected to arrive? How long do we have?
If one of his changelings brought you to Cragmaw, I fear he already thinks me a failure. And that is why I fled as I would. Did not expect to see humans at the front of his spear. I expected nothing more than death. Perhaps he fears the orcs, perhaps not. But for now, breathe another day, and if we can be of service, we will serve those who might help us before those who might force us into a state next to death.
Is
So
butting in. I mean, he might not fear the orcs by themselves, but he might fear an alliance of all creatures against him.
I believe that is the way of many wield the weave.
We may be able to bring more allies into this fight, but it will take a little time.
we can look for you at Cragmaw Castle.
I do not believe it is safe for me to return to the castle. Even if it was you who raided there. Perhaps the goblins will return to our fold. Perhaps they are already dead at the hand of his lieutenant. It is hard to tell.
And ask Grol, does he know of any other races that the spider uses that we might be able to convince to go against him instead?
Do not believe he has anything not in his service, other than perhaps the changelings, who again I wonder if he himself is a changeling. But at least two I have smelled. And again, I know not if there is a single spider, or if they are both the same, but they share the same scent.
We don't really have noses like yours. Is there any way for us to tell if they're a changeling? You got some sort of, there's a certain scent that we, can. I don't know. There's a certain way they look, they talk. What is it?
They look like what they want to look like. They speak however they choose to speak. They are not easy to find.
Is there anybody that would know how to determine a changeling? You know of anybody like that?
I believe if you run them through with your sword, you should be able to find out by how they die.
Mm. Thanks.
Good.
All right. All right. Okay.
So, Grol, where will we meet you when we have the next steps for you?
Do you know well the Sword Mountains?
No.
Wyrentor is on the eastern side, south of the human ruins called Conybear. My people reside there, beneath the feet of the dragon. Search for us again. You can find us there. But I warn you, I do not believe the orcs will ever welcome you there, so much as I would welcome you there. They are more of a bloodthirsty race. And even now, only in the moment can I command them. Because they recognize my strength is beyond all of theirs.
Well, we're sure Tharden will die before he'll tell us what he knows. So we want to try to find the information another way by finding the other Rockseekers. Try not to kill him.
His life buys the life of my kind, I believe. We do not intend to kill him. But if the spider comes, we will give him up. We'll do anything to buy our kind. You find a way to serve our needs, please let us know. Find a way for us to destroy this spider. We will fight beside you. For death and glory in battle is better than dying beneath the foot of a foul mage.
We agree with that.
And we will look for you at Wyvern Tor when we have more information.
My actual, sigh from him does not get picked up by my microphone. So let's try for, he takes a moment as he kind of sighs and strokes like the little bit of hair beneath his chin. If you return to these lands on the east of the Sword Mountains, light a beer in Coneyberry, burn fresh leaves, and with the white smoke, we will know that you come to treat with us, and I will come to Coneyberry with my retinue, and we will find you there to treat peacefully.
That's great.
Okay.
That's a great outcome.
I just gotta ask something. Do you know of any kobold outposts or, well, dens or whatever you call them in the area?
The kobolds run through all of these mountains. Their places underneath the earth. They are troublesome creatures, dragon worshippers, tricky little fiends.
I was just thinking that we could maybe get them to help us with the spider. Well, I mean, not sure how much help they can be, but there are at least more people to throw at him.
The goblinoids hate dwarves very much, but we have long had issues with the dragon kind. I have no respect for the kobolds, but you need only stick your head under the earth to find signs of kobolds. So, if you don't have anything else to discuss with him, he's going to pick up Tharden by the back of his neck again and turn and walk away.
And I'm for letting him go.
Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing.
I thought it.
See you, Tharden. We'll see you soon.
Stay strong.
Sorry.
He's very strong, Grol. Very strong.
Find us at Coneyberry.
Fresh leaves, white smoke. Got it.
So, as they end up leaving, what would you all care to do? What is your priority on where you would like to go from here?
Take a deep breath, smack each other on the back. We survived all that. Good job. Should we go back to Cragmaws and pick up our boxes and get back to town, or
We
go back
should've
to
ran.
Cragmaws and
We
kill
could
everybody?
have done it.
I think we should
The
go
100
back to Cragmaws to see if we can find the changeling, actually. See if the...
He said that warrant, that officer might be there. She's not officer, the lieutenant.
Maybe worth getting back to town. We've been gone for a couple days now. Get the crates back to town. See
Find Gundren.
what's going on.
Yeah, we should probably tell Gundren what's happening too. I think he needs to know.
Is he gonna be all right with us just letting this guy take his brother away like that?
No, we didn't
Probably
really have
had
a
no
choice.
I bet he's
Um,
going to be stoked.
He's going to be pissed, but what choice do we have?
And we can
Alright.
tell him about his other brother, that he needs help too, and that he actually got away. So we could prioritize him in the meantime.
Oh, God damn it!
He
Oh,
can
I
tell
guess-
us about the spider. That's what we need to know.
Did he tell us where that guy was?
The spider?
No,
No.
his brother.
No,
He
they
said
said
Gundren
they
could
got
find
away.
him. He
Okay.
said Gundren
Yeah, if he,
know where he was.
yeah, if he cared to look for him.
Gundren knows where the cavern is, which is
Let
probably
me
where Gundren is.
have a history check from you all. Never ask for a roll that you don't want to fail. So where would you all like to go?
Boxes, town, Gundren. Anybody for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, seems like a plan. I can't think of
Yeah.
it.
So the crates are not specifically left at the castle. Are you going to bypass the castle and just go straight for the crates and then head back to Phandalin?
I mean, we could try and take a sneak peek at the castle on our way back.
Yeah, we could do that. See if the lieutenant killed everyone there, basically, while we were gone.
I just want you all to know I created a really badass King Grol as a custom character to fight. And while that was definitely fun to roleplay, and I hope you all enjoyed that, I really wanted to see a battle come out because he was definitely designed to fight the four of you.
Yeah, I was definitely expecting this session to start with us ambushing and trying to kill him.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think we should have done that, but yeah, hindsight.
I mean, we could still end up just killing everybody in the end.
yeah,
We really just like, you know.
I
Yeah,
was
again-
really concerned about like him killing the dwarfs. That's why I didn't want to do it.
I had
Yeah,
a
once the-
dialogue set up where he was going to share the changeling stuff with you all. Essentially, as he yelled out into the woods, I knew it was going to be highly likely that he was going to essentially sniff out the changeling. But it was just absolutely hilarious that it was essentially his first roll was so high to just recognize you all pretty much immediately.
Fuck.
You can still turn on everybody in the end, like I said.
So, as far as things go, you all have a pretty straightforward route through the forest to return to Cragmaw. You also know that you are pretty close to the southern edge of the forest itself. Would you like to head down to the Tribor and then head to Cragmaw Castle, or would you like to kind of retrace your steps?
Well, we may not have our guide back through the swamp. Maybe safer to
Yeah,
head for the
Tribor.
Yeah, Tribor then. Castle. Seems safe.
They said that there were orcs on the who were like hitting up people on the tribal, right?
I think
Yeah,
they're over
goblins.
there with Grol right now.
I think Burke is on the spot on that one, that you all just met the orcs that are the ones that have been raiding the Tribor.
Okay. All right. So he picked up his whole thing and went over there. There's not like anybody lingering around there. Okay. All right.
Well,
Let's do
I
it.
mean, that's maybe all of them. It may not, but that's part of what you just met for sure. Or, like, I think that's a safe assumption from Burke to share with everybody. Like, well, we may have just met those orcs.
Is
Gotcha.
anyone clear? Like, if we went to Cragmaw and we killed all those goblins, are they King Grol's subjects?
I
Or are
mean,
they
he
just
showed
goblins, so it
pretty
doesn't
much
matter.
disdain for goblins. He just thought them as like tools, basically. Well, that's what I got from him.
Yeah, goblinoids are pretty universal in kind of looking down upon all of the other ones. You're either below somebody's boot, being used and abused, or you are the boot, abusing somebody who is weaker than you.
Seems kind of like the whole culture there. A little fucked up. A little fucked up there.
Definitely the best part about playing that character is the fact that he's so concerned with how they treat his people, but it is 100% how he treats his own people.
Well, I mean, he can treat his people like that, but other people can't treat his people like that.
Well, so are we going to go to the castle or not? Do you guys want to go in there? I feel like we're going to find a fight if we go in there, which could be fine.
I mean, I'm all for going to the castle if only to see if we can find the changeling, because I think that could get us some information at least.
You
I'd like
stop
to-
by. Yeah.
I'd like to identify this raven brooch that has transmutational properties. Maybe it'll help us find changelings or something.
Also, Edrin, aren't you really fucked up? Are you still fucked up from the spiders?
No, I got healed, not full, but pretty much close.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still kind of jacked up. Okay. All right.
At least I don't remember that. I still had 15 out of 19 health on my character sheet when I opened it. Unless I forgot something, then that should be
No, I
right.
think he healed you after the fight.
Yeah, I feel like Burke expended some healing to get him back a little healed.
Yeah.
So,
So if we're going to go back to the castle, and go inside and visit with our goblin friends,
Might need to.
let's do it.
Yeah, let's just go.
So you all have essentially it is evening. It's probably about like probably like 13 or 14 hours after you woke up. If you would like to continue through the night, you can do that. You can move on and eventually take camp. But that is up to you all whether you want to essentially go into a level of exhaustion to try to make the Cragmaw Castle as soon as possible, or if you intend to take a rest before.
I vote camp.
Yeah, I don't think we're in that much of a rush to get there.
Yeah, vote camp.
Camp not next to the ogre.
And maybe back just off the Tribor or in the southern edge of the woods.
All right, so we can have you all like basically like head off for about a little less than an hour before making camp, and we will go through a long rest.
A long rest with threatening dice rolls.
What could be threatening about dice rolls?
They sound really ominous in my headphones, where they don't sound quite as ominous on the table.
So, who would like to take the first watch?
I can take first or fourth because of my armor. Anyone have a strong feeling about it?
I can take second.
I'll take third then, so Ty can have his armor for fourth watch.
Yeah, let's say.
All right, so I'll take first. Ty's on fourth. Cool.
Yeah, the way it works out is as long as you're awake, you can put your armor on. You're not like unarmored if you take one of the middle watches. It's just usually essentially the people who actually wear armors that really need time to put on and take off, or rather people who wear medium or heavy armors who can't sleep in it have to take the time to put it on. That when something happens, if you don't have your armor on when it happens, you're pretty much going to miss an encounter if you intend to put your armor on before entering the encounter.
All right, so if I do the first watch, do we have anything else we have to do?
Let me just have you roll 2 perception checks, and then whoever's on second watch.
It's weird that one was at +3 and the other one wasn't.
The plus
Oh,
3
no,
is
it
in
was.
there on the 13.
Yeah, it's in there. It just didn't show
Yeah.
in the box.
That's weird. That doesn't show.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I'm sorry. I was just speaking out loud.
One more from you, Edrin,
Well, that's a crapshoot.
and then whoever's on third watch, and then whoever's on fourth watch.
Justin's a
We're going for the high
solid
rolls today.
sleeper.
Jeez.
Mine's gonna be bad too. Yeah, well, not
It was a
terrible.
long day of getting fucked with by the fairy dragon, so apparently everybody was nice and comfortable sleeping.
Guess it only matters if something comes up on us while we're keeping terrible watch.
Always the optimist.
That is correct. So as you all go through the evening, it seems like everybody feels pretty comfortable having seen the orcs that were apparently ravaging the Tribor, and everybody takes a long rest and enjoys a nice night's sleep. When you wake up the next morning, though, as everybody is starting to take a bit of breakfast and begin preparing for the next day, after you all take a long rest here and prepare your spells, you notice more cocoons overhead.
Justin, those are for you.
This is not how I wanted to wake up.
Who keeps picking these camp spots underneath all the spiders?
I don't know if can spiders hear us? They hear us talking?
Yeah, they like it's all vibration with them, right?
Is it like the move?
Because
Don't like spiders dance to like communicate or whatever? You know what I'm talking about? You ever heard that? Like they do like little motions or whatever.
I feel like that's bees that use their pheromones like that.
I know. That's what I was thinking. Like that's what Tyrell thinks.
Yeah, Ty, I'm sure. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. They kind of like dance around, you know. That's why I was asking. I don't know if they dance around to communicate. Do they have ears? You know.
Well, I'm gonna put my armor on. I'm gonna put my armor on while Ty's talking about that.
Yeah, but like they said, spiders can hear through vibrations, right? Like their hair on their legs and shit and things like that.
well, I'm gonna have my bow out and scanning the trees.
At present, it doesn't really seem like there's anything other than what you all are likely to understand as bodies of creatures that have been pulled up into the canopy and saved, perhaps for breakfast, lunch, or dinner at a future date. But it's not you.
Ty, there's treasure up there.
I say screw the treasure. We just finish our rest and our breakfast and everything, and just go on our way.
Yeah, last time we'd killed the spiders first before we went up for the cocoons.
Yeah, I'd rather not climb up there until we like determine there aren't any spiders up there. Yeah.
We try to just like sort of mentally mark this location in our minds.
Or like on our map.
And I've got some chalk I can, well, that might wash away if it rains, but
Why don't you just shoot the cocoon down? You got a bow, you know?
I can try.
Can't be that many spiders up there anyway. Well, whatever. We can kill them if they come down, I guess. If you guys really want to do this.
Well, it seemed like it was 3 no's and like a ambivalent, sort of provocative opinion from Burke. So we could just get back to work. Not spend an hour killing spiders.
Yes, yeah, it would probably be for the best if we didn't get fucked up by these spiders and then go into this castle and then get fucked up. That would probably be the best, right? Best idea.
Yeah. And if there are spiders and they don't know we're here now, shooting their web will definitely alert them.
Well, I mean, yeah, whatever. All right, let's do it. Get on the trucking.
It feels so beautiful to dangle a carrot in front of you like, there's spiders.
You think we would have looked up when we picked this camp spot after it happened last night?
Well, probably at night it'd be difficult to see.
Yeah, it's definitely along those lines of essentially the canopy is blocking all of the actual like moonlight, and it's not until you actually have the full day's sun you are able to spot that inside of the canopy there are essentially the cocooned or webbed creatures.
Let's go kill some goblins. I mean, talk to some goblins.
So you all are relatively well aware that if you head outside of the forest, you will actually be passing by the Cragmaw hide before you get to the Cragmaw castle. You are more than welcome to choose to divert and go to the hide. You can keep on track and go straight to the castle outside of the forest, or at any point you can let me know that you would like to cross through the forest to try to make your way back to the castle.
Did we meet Screech at the Cragmaw hide?
First
Initially,
Screech.
yeah.
Might be the right spot to try to find him. There's no bugbears there now, right? Just friends, friendly goblins.
If they are in fact friends and they weren't just using us to go after Clark, no, not Clark, Grol. I'm starting
the
to.
original.
Yeah, we took care of their
goblins in the
Clark
hide.
problem.
Yeah, got you to kill Clark.
And then they led us to their Grol problem, which we decided to make friends with Grol, but we don't have to tell them that probably.
Yeah, Justin's starting to doubt this whole being friends with goblins and bugbears.
Oh yeah,
Kobolds too, don't forget. And dragon kin in general.
yeah. All right, I'm liking
And
this.
dwarves.
Yeah, especially the dwarves.
I don't mind being friends with dwarfs. I think I'm still for that piece.
Oh, I should have been more evil when you guys said that, what if a dwarf doesn't sit on that throne?
I think it's fine. So I'll still kill him if he's a dwarf, if he's in the way.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll sit on it just to fucking spite him. Or fucking. There's only 3 of them left. How does he expect to like? Whatever.
You really
Yeah,
want
it's
to
not like
fuck
they
with
can-
him, would put a goblin on the throne.
Edward's gonna bring one of his kobold friends to be in charge.
All right, so do we want to head through the forest straight towards Cragmaw Castle, or go the long way and stop at the hide first?
I think hide, castle, then back to town. And we can see if we can get something out of Screech in.
And then the
Out of the hide.
crates are, I guess, somewhere between the castle and the hide, like just south of the castle to the southwest.
Yeah, the crates were like, it was within a quarter mile of the castle that you all left those.
Okay.
Well, let's go find Screech, right? That's what we want to do. So where are we most likely to find Screech? At the hide? Where we met him?
Yeah, probably.
Screech
if he-
1.
Or if he came to check what happened at the castle, because he disappeared. The first Screech disappeared.
All right. So
That way we can also pick up the crates on our way down to the hide if we want.
all right, so what are we feeling here right now? Are we deciding like to stop by the castle, or are we just running straight to the city, or excuse me, the town?
Well, my question is if you guys are going outside of the forest, you're going to essentially walk close to the Cragmaw hide, where you first met Screech, who, if you trust Grol, is a changeling.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry, I got lost in the sauce there.
If you go through the forest, you can essentially save time by going through the forest to the castle and make your way there more straightforward wise.
I think we need to confront this changeling.
Yeah, the suspected changeling.
Yeah.
Stab everybody you meet.
Okay.
It's not paranoia if there's really a changeling there.
So Justin's vote would be for going west through the forest to the castle, then swinging down towards the hide.
It's too bad that Roll20 doesn't have a flip a coin sort of die there. That would be
You
flipping
can roll a
it.
d20.
We could do like a or a
We could do any of
D4
it,
and
I
just
think,
do
but-
odd or even, yeah.
I was thinking it would be fun if there was just a coin, though. So
But
I'm happy to do it Justin's way.
I mean, if we're eventually heading back to town, I feel like it's going to be quicker to go to the castle hide town than go down to the hide, then have to go, if we don't find Screech there, go up to the castle and then come right back down again.
I see you.
That's
see.
that's his thinking there.
I got you.
Yeah, see your reasoning.
Gotcha. All right, let's do that.
Justin, lead the way. We'll be right behind you.
So yeah, let me have what was it? I think Ty and Justin have survival. Let me have each of you roll a survival check as you all basically try to cross the south end of Neverwinter Woods.
Yeah, you'd think for how much tracking I've been doing, I would have survival proficiency, but I don't actually. I've just been.
No, how it's been going is that I think Wait,
Wasn't
what?
it me and Justin going investigation basically?
yeah, I think it was that.
But at
But
this point, where I think we're just trying to find our way back.
All right, wait. So Ty
Alright.
has survival. I know that much.
yeah,
So yeah,
There's
I
mine.
guess it's really just Ty's roll that will matter on this one. All right, Ward, you're able to keep a pretty solid track across what you all are going for here. You make a sufficient southwest trip outside of the forest before you turn in, where you think you are south enough beyond the swamp that you have more or less lost a lot more time in the previous day's travel. And then you cut into the forest, and you all are able to reconnect with one of the paths from Cragmaws Castle, and essentially make your way back towards the castle itself. And it would be, yeah, it's pretty much a solid day's travel before you guys get back to Cragmaws. It would be again late in the day, dusk, when you regain the trail and basically arrive back at the castle. And you can either go straight to the crates or you can investigate the castle. It's up to you.
We came here to investigate, right?
oh, that shitty goblin's gonna be in there though. I don't want to
Yeah,
talk.
maybe
about
Ensig has some clue of finding a changeling.
that. Fuck that. He's gonna rob me again. I'm not talking to that guy.
Maybe we could settle that score while we're in there.
Do you have gold to rob?
Well, yeah, I got some electron pieces from Jansen. He's a real nice guy. Give me some
We
stuff.
we have some.
Does your
We
sword
have some
weigh less
gold.
than 10 pounds?
Where the fuck is that even at?
I was definitely fucking with you. I feel like
Uh-oh.
of all things that he could steal, he's probably not going to go for your sword.
It's 6 pounds.
All of a sudden, your heart and soul just feels 6 pounds lighter.
Look, if we gotta talk to that shit-eating goblin again, I'm not gonna be anywhere near him. That's just my thing.
So who's going to lead the investigation? Because we probably could be like more efficient time wise if we delegate somebody to be the talker.
I think
Well,
Edrin and Justin should lead.
I mean, we know we killed the hobgoblins before, so we could, if we are going to head in, try for that back northwest entrance. And we really just need to, I mean, if everything seems sort of copacetic, then we just leave.
We just need Screech, right? We're going to go in there and demand Screech.
The false Screech. Although he might not look like Screech anymore.
Goblins are like goldfish. They expand to their environment.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? Are we just sending in Edrin and Justin to have conversations with the goblins?
No, we all have to go together, don't we? We need
Yeah.
Ty's the biggest one.
I'm reluctant. He's just reluctant to talk to this motherfucker. That's all it is. So he's gonna be kind of in the back. Well, no. Yeah, he'll be in the back as we all go up to. Well, can we sneak around? Can we like hide in the bushes before we get there and kind of look and see into the castle if we can? Kind of like how we did it before.
Is the whole party going to sneak?
And I can kind of try and get close, sort of like the last time we did it, and see first.
Are you taking any source of light? Actually, you know what? It's Eliant 12th. I think middle of the month would be the full moon. So you would have the most light from the moon, where you could kind of get by with a dim light situation with no light source at all. But it's still up to you if you would like to have another light source option.
Yeah, I'm lost. I thought we just woke up from a long rest, and it was
It took
morning.
No, then we traveled the whole day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
30
It's
miles
walk
of
for like
travel.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
We
we're
are
gonna
not
be
fast
good.
travelers.
God damn it.
Burke, you want
We
to
need
cast,
horses.
do the same thing? Cast light on my dagger. I'll sheath it for now, and then if I come into a situation where I feel like I need more light, I can pull it out.
Anytime.
Excellent. So let's see. And you want to sneak around the northern edge and see what you can see?
Yeah, like through those where the walls were crumbled the last time, like up on the north there.
Let me have you roll a perception check. So in general, the castle seems essentially just as active as it was the first time that you all came through here. You don't see any real less sign of anything happening. So for what that's worth, if it's all goblins in this place, they seem to kind of taken over like all of the different parts of the castle. If it is other creatures back with them, they seem to have re-inhabited those same locations. And among that, you would still hear the chanting from who you assume to be Anzik in the north central tower. That is one of the more complete towers. And then, yeah, if you want any other information, let me know.
What do you guys think about demanding to see Enzik, telling him there's a changeling in his group and insisting you produce it? And if they balk at that, we just kill everybody.
Uh,
Did you like that idea so much that you didn't know what to say?
okay, we can kill the goblins.
I need
I
Ty
like
to make a constitution check.
Fuck off. Are you serious?
Yes, please.
We're
Oh my
just
god.
We're just talking.
Oh, I love this.
Hey, let's go.
Ty holds back a little bit of vomit when Burke mentions, I think we should speak with Anzik.
Okay. Yeah, no. No. No.
I mean, I could speak to him. You don't have to.
I like killing the goblins. But
Well, I think that's our backup position, right? Is killing all the goblins.
I don't think
yeah.
it's our first position.
I mean, I can try and go in and get one of their attention to speak with just a goblin.
Should we just go to the door by where they had their like mess hall or something? Just knock on it.
I mean, yeah, they kind of know us by now, right? So, I imagine we just, talk to them normally, right?
We never got into their Enzik's like chanting room. I'm interested about that. Is there a church or something, or like an old chapel that he's in?
I think Anzik did warn us not to come back, for what that's worth.
I don't think I have it specifically in my notes that it was like a negative situation on coming back.
Yeah, he was
Or
more
maybe
like
supposed to leave at that time. Maybe I'm misremembering. Yeah.
he was more like we shouldn't come back unless we killed Grol, because then Grol would probably come back and kill us.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah, I feel like
What?
that sounds about right, where it's almost the exact same narrative as what Grol was trying to get you to do with the spider.
Well, we can tell Enzik we killed Grol and demand he pay us for it.
I don't think that would work very well. I feel like he could see through us in
Yeah,
line.
the only thing I had from Anzik was also that he warned you all not to trust the dwarves.
Yeah, well, we've learned not to trust the dwarves. They're greedy little fuckers.
Hey,
They're all greedy little fuckers. There's no like straight up good guys we can ally with.
I think
There's you guys.
there's the innkeeper
Yeah, I would call
And
us the
the-
good guy.
and the orchard guy. We've got like 4 friends.
All right. Well, I think we collectively say fuck this castle, and just go to the Cragmaw hide and see if that changeling fucker is there. I don't think he's here. 'Cause if he was here, he probably would have killed everybody, right? I mean, by now, you know.
Yeah, because they're all alive. That tells you he hasn't been back to kill everybody, right? Makes sense.
Yeah.
If that sounds good for everyone, we will have you go pick up the crates. Probably not camp in that same area, but it ends up being somewhat the same situation of, do you want to travel through the night and take exhaustion, or would you have somewhere in mind that you would like to make camp?
It's under the spider tree, obviously.
Did kill all of those spiders, so it's probably safer than last time.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I don't think it matters. Anywhere we sleep, there's spiders. So I think just be on your guard. You know.
Edrin, can you send a dancing light like up 60 feet in the air and try and find us a spot with no webs?
It's pretty
Yeah, we could
fucking
do that.
hilarious that not only did I roll to have an encounter at a high rate of not having an encounter, but I also rolled the exact same encounter as well. Because that, again, was a random encounter that you guys camped beneath the spider webs. Is that the thought, though? You just want to basically head on that southwesterly path and pick up the crates, head a little bit out of there, and make another camp?
Yeah, seems about right.
Yeah.
I think so.
So
Yeah, and I
assuming
think-
we do the same order, let me have Burke make 2 checks. And then, what was it? I think it was
It was Edrin.
Justin. Edrin
No,
second.
me.
And then Justin third. Rushing those
Wow.
20s, just wasting them. And then 2 tie for 2 more.
Hey.
One moment here. Let's see. So, in the last reaches of the morning, probably a solid 7 hours into your rest, you are kind of relaxing, keeping a very solid watch over the camp that you all are staying in. Is this essentially the same area, or did you guys move away from it?
From the spider nest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we moved like a good
So you
distance from
basically
that.
kept out of the grove, and you're inside of like more like tightly packed trees, but just off of the actual trail. And at some point in the morning, Ty, you are going to hear the sound of goblins that apparently are walking along the trail. Make a that's a high enough perception. You see 4 goblins walking along the trail. What would you like to do?
Thank God it's goblins and not more spiders.
Oh man. How
So
many do I see?
mechanically, if you wake them, they will, or really, if you guys do anything here, you all essentially will lose the benefit of your rest. So to gain the long rest and move along, about all you can do is try to have a conversation and not fight, or just let them pass by.
I am. So wait, it's like 7 hours, maybe a little over at this point of the rest.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is it's inside of that 8th check that there was a encounter. So you
I
are
was-
somewhere between the 7th and the 8th hour. Time is definitely a timey-wimey thing where you don't really have watches to know exactly where you're at.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna try and I'm just gonna try and keep it stealthy. Kind of duck behind a tree, and if they get any closer, I'll try and strike up a conversation and talk my way out of it.
So as you kind of be silent and try to keep yourself stepped back a little bit, you are able to let them pass by. They seem to be speaking in Goblinoid, not really trying to be silent on their end. And the 4 of them basically walk back towards Cragmaw Castle. And everybody can take a long rest, and we can move forward from there.
Gotcha. Cool. So as everybody wakes up, I tell them that we had 4 goblins walk by. I didn't try and start a fight and ruin you guys' rest.
Good job.
It was really hard.
I know.
Proud of you,
That's
proud of
one
you,
of the,
Ty.
yeah, we're proud of you for that.
Yeah. So yeah, we got 4 more in there if we decide to, go in there and kill people. So just thought I'd let y'all know that.
They're so small and they smell so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Do you think there were ones from the hide where we're going? We're going to see them again in a few minutes.
Like you said they were walking in there, right? They're walking towards the hide.
They were walking north towards the castle.
Oh shit. They're walking from the hide to the castle. Fuck. Okay.
So they passed us by. Well, from somewhere. They did say that they had hunting parties, Cragmaw hunting parties in the area. So might have just been one of them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that they were going from the hide to the castle or just anywhere else to the castle.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I heard that backwards. I thought they were going from the castle to the hide. All right. Not our problem anyway. Now anyway, so whatever.
Well, I'd like to see more of the hide than we saw last time. What did we see? We saw the one room to the right.
I think it wasn't too
Like
much.
water pool.
Wasn't too much of the hide to see, really, from the looks of inside. I think there's like a bunch of little like caverns for them to sleep, and that was about it. Other than that main chamber in there, right?
We could also try and speak with the goblins at the hide and just ask them like, when did Screech show up? Like how,
Is he here? Yeah.
you know him, or how long's he been here?
Yeah.
Maybe he'll just come out and talk to us if we get lucky. He'll just walk into our hands.
And Screech is definitely different from the rest. He's like a little bit bigger and like has a different get up, right? Different, set of clothing.
Wasn't that the second Screech that was bigger? Or am I just misremembering?
For what it's worth, both of the Screeches you met looked the same, as far as they were bigger than other goblins.
Okay, right. There were just 2 of them, one at the hide, one at the castle.
Screech is like a sergeant-sized goblin.
Yeah, one
Yeah, I
with an
think
annoying voice and the other with a...
I think
That
it's
work.
safe to assume that Screech is definitely a leader among goblins.
Well, let's go find that guy.
Give me one
Agreed.
moment here. My headsets are dying, and I'm going to switch.
Hey guys, I think while he's doing that, I'm confused about survival because I have a +3 in survival, but I don't have proficiency. Does that make me the most do I have the most plus to my roll of everybody?
Probably. I mean, if you have the highest wisdom, then that would. I think, is it wisdom? I think wisdom.
Yeah, it's a wisdom check is why you're
Yeah.
getting that. And I think you would basically next level be even with somebody who has proficiency in survival, because I think level 5 is when you'll have a +3 proficiency bonus.
Okay, well, I keep saying I don't have proficiency, but I do have +3, so I guess I can take some of those rolls. I don't really think of Burke as an outdoorsman, but
I was thinking more towards like, in battle and war and stuff like that, you have to find and kill game, surviving while that's happening. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking of. That's kind of how
Yeah.
my proficiency got. That's where I got my proficiency from.
Survival is definitely clutch anytime you go off the trail and are essentially surviving in the wilderness. There's a lot of things where doing actual like hex crawls is where survivalism really comes in.
Okay.
So it's a much shorter trip to the Cragmaw hide from Cragmaw Castle. You all are able to make it there by about like high sun, maybe a little bit closer to like earlier in the day. How would you care to approach the Cragmaw hide?
I could try the same approach, right? Like go up towards the clearing, try and make some thieves' cant signs towards the goblins that we would probably presume are in the other clearing on the other side of the stream. Unless anyone has another idea.
Yeah, that was good. My ideas. Use you for your your symbols and stuff, like your whatever the way of contacting them.
I love this map. I don't know if I've seen this map before, but thank you for it.
Yeah, I think I had you all set up on the bigger map, and I just actually reset this one because it's much easier to actually get a detail than on the like full Faerun map. Or I guess really it's the full Sword Coast.
Yeah, this helps me not feel lost. Yeah, I'm gonna go behind Justin, I think. Try to be quiet. Let him lead his goblin sign language.
So is your intent to sneak up and then do the signals, basically, to try to do a signaling like that?
Yeah.
All right, let me have you do a performance check.
I'm wasting so many 20s.
That's
3
why
in the
I'm not
last
doing-
4 rolls for like no reason.
That's why I'm not doing that anymore. Now, after I got killed, I feel superstitious. I'm just doing one roll at a time and shifting on the advantage-disadvantage rolls.
So you are able to move up. The goblins seem to recognize your speech pretty quickly, and you hear a cry from in the woods from one of the goblins. What are you trying to say with Thieves' Cant? Like we vaguely
Sort of
settled
similar
on, like,
to the
on like hobo language.
yeah. So like I think the last time I did it, it was like friends talk or like parlay, like that general idea.
Gotcha, yeah. So they kind of you hear speech from the other side of the thicket. It more or less recognizes you on that level, and the goblins kind of step out of that initial hide and wave you forward and ask you what sort of information you are looking to treat with, or what you need, basically.
So I'll tell them that there's 4 of us here, and I'll sort of gesture for Edrin, Burke, and Ty to come up as well, and then I'll ask them, is Screech here? We want to speak with Screech.
It's a little early on that switch. Screech is at the castle.
Fucking tits.
Did he come back here after he left with us several days ago?
I don't think Screech has come back. Looks over at the other goblin. Zimko, Screech come back? No. Screech king of Cragmaws now.
Oh. Huh. Probably should have guessed that, huh?
Yeah, Screech is king. And Zeke worked for Screech.
And Zeke is working for Screech.
Mm-hmm. Screech is much more powerful than Enzik.
Wait, how is Screech more powerful than Enzik?
Screech is strong. Screech kills. Enzik plays with shiny lights.
Okay.
This may sound like a stupid question, but how many Screeches are there?
Silly human. There's one Screech.
Notice anything funny about him lately?
Has his voice changed suddenly? Does he talk different than he used to?
Does he eat different food?
Screech talks more with fists.
Well, talking to goblins is never our best hobby, right?
Oh, I'd ask them if there's any like strange goblins or goblins that have been acting unusual around the hide, or are they walking away?
No, my bad. I was actually just pulling them out of the background there.
Oh, I got you.
Unusual goblins sounds like goblins? What's in the boxes? Did you bring tribute for Screech? Do you have shinies?
No.
We like shinies.
Yeah, I got a few shinies for you.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. And he'll like put out his hands.
I give him the. I give him 5 copper.
Ah, coppers! These are wonderful shinies. Thank
Now, are you
big man.
sure? Are you sure you haven't seen any weird, strange goblins at all, or seen Screech act kind of funny?
He's like chewing on the coppers, like with massive amounts of drool like dripping out of his face. It's funny that Screech is king. Not sure what happened with Grol, but it's definitely good for goblins. Got rid of
Sorry, go ahead.
Crow and Grol at the same time. That's really good for goblins.
Okay. All right.
Did Screech ever say anything about spiders?
Goblins don't really get along with spiders. Spiders like to eat goblins. And they eat a lot of goblins, because goblins are small.
Have you seen any spiders nearby?
You see as he, like, kind of scratches his head. There's a lot of spiders in the forest. And the other goblin who's standing next to him, like, nods his head really emphatically, like, there's a ton of spiders in the forest.
Yeah,
Yes, we're aware.
I think this might be a lost cause.
Yeah, maybe it's time we just head back to town.
I'm for that.
I think that changeling probably fucked off. So, I think after you let us in there, he just fucked off and went back to his master, probably.
If you say
Yeah.
like
My bad, Justin.
Justin would just say like, if Screech comes back, tell him we want to talk to him and enjoy your shinies.
Yeah, shinies. Screech talk to Dark One. Yes, Dark One?
Yeah, the dark ones who we want to know about. What can you tell us?
And he'll start describing the Dark One to you. Before after about like 5 minutes of time, you realize that he's like looking at Justin and describing Justin.
I am wearing dark clothing, yeah.
He was like asking like who he's supposed to tell Screech is looking for him.
Yes, tell him Dark One wants to speak with him if he comes back.
Good. Dark One brings shinies for Screech. Excellent.
Yes, we will. Thank you. And I think Jasno sort of turn back.
They have a little like Three Stooge moment as they bow and like bump into the other's weapon, just like full cold clock the other one for it, and then you all are welcome to wander away as these two seem to kind of drop into a little bit of a brawl.
And we got a shit ton of copper, right? Seems we keep running the goblins, so
Yeah, we're good. We can
Okay.
give them coppers all day.
I should just give them 1 copper instead of 5. I'll try 1 copper next time, and then we'll kind of might be able to power away off a shit ton of situations with all this copper.
So do you think the changeling Screech is in charge of the castle now, or the real Screech is in charge of the castle?
Probably the real one.
And we'd have to stab him to find out.
Probably, yeah.
By the end of that conversation, Zuko had all 5 copper pieces in his mouth, and he was speaking to you with all of the coins and all of the drool.
Nice.
So, are you all ready to head back to Pandalin?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought you were going to kill all those goblins.
may yet come to that, but
I was like, I just want to see the place. Let's go murder them all. I'm like, oh, poor goblins. So you all have, let's see, it's about like 4 hours. So you would kind of get it back in there, like as the sun is like midway through setting. So you still have a little bit of light left to your day. You have a pretty uneventful trip across the plains, over the Tribor Trail, and up the essentially roadway that kind of zigzags into Phandalin as it climbs the first steps into the Sword Mountains. And as you all are progressing through the area, it seems like a quiet day with very little kind of going on in the area. And you start to arrive back into Phandalin and see the town that you left. I think it's like 5 days, like a half a week ago, basically, at that point. What would you like to do?
so do we want to, with the crates, do we want to do the same thing we did last time? Try and circle around to the Ettermath Orchard? Do we see any, what might be red brand patrols?
Let's kill some of those fuckers.
Let me get a perception check from you as you all approach. I think it's sufficient to say that everybody can roll it.
God darn, boy. I cannot roll. I rolled a few good ones early, but
Let's see, was that 13 yours from right there? I really wish Roll20 had a timestamp.
Yeah, that second one is the 13 is for this check.
Excellent. So yeah, you all see a few different groups of apparently men kind of moseying around the general area. I think it was Ty who spoke with, I should have looked up his name before coming back to this session, but who spoke with the Red Brand, who kind of like jumped out behind you all when you were leaving Edrin's last.
I think it was Stronk was the name he
Yeah,
gave.
that sounds
Yep.
right. Nice, and
You
I
got
clicked
it.
the right one, went right to it. Stronk. So you have a pretty good idea that what little bits of they don't really have like a uniform to speak of, but what you do notice is people have warned you that the people not doing anything in town are the Red Brands, and that you notice overall the people who seem to be walking like the mid-20s to early 30s men in town who are just walking around in like groups of 2 and 3 are all wearing somewhere some bit of red clothing. And you spot a few of these just from like the outskirts of town. You don't have a pretty good sense until you actually enter town, but it is the type of thing where you all are essentially ready to immediately recognize, like, for what it's worth, let's say that you spot a group of 4 at the front kind of entrance between the road from Ettermath's Orchard and the actual entrance to through the broken wall into the town proper.
Okay.
So, like, there's a little group of 4 just kind of there, and you all are like approaching off on the most northern point right now.
Mm.
And the sun is currently like midway through setting to the west.
Do we want to wait till nightfall and go in?
Well, if anything, there'll be more of them at night, probably.
Yeah, I think we should just walk in now.
Well, I'd rather not walk in and meet him while we're lugging these crates. That's why I was suggesting maybe you try and sneak around into the orchard, sort of like circle around west and like without going through the main road.
Yeah.
Seems smart.
If we do get into a fight, we kind of draw them away from kind of town. Kind of kill them.
I feel like at one point you all have already walked around that hill to the north of Ettermath Orchard, and know well enough that you can basically avoid the farmstead immediately south of you, head west off of the road, make your way to the river, and then go southeast straight to Ettermath.
Right, yeah. And if we do run into any that way, they're farther away from reinforcements. If we run into some right in front of town and we decide to fight them, then they might draw.
They might, yeah, they'll be well out of range to yell for fucking help, hopefully.
Maybe we'll only see one, and then we can grab them up.
Only we were so lucky.
And then Mara can torture him for us.
All I know is I'm tired of carrying these fucking crates, so let's go ahead and get this done. We've been carrying these crates for a while now, right? Like
couple days, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, you're like 2 days into it, basically.
Yeah, she doesn't really pay that well either. We're seem very that grateful.
oh, she's not this time. Then she better. Hey, this should be the last of it, right?
You
Last
say
of the crates.
that, and I gave you guys more than the actual quest to retrieve that shit. And offered
Oh,
it to
really?
you a second time. Yeah, you're only supposed to get 50 gold for returning the crates.
Oh.
No, I wasn't thinking about it monetarily. She seemed still a little standoffish. You know, she wasn't fessing up to tell us what was going on around town. I'm hoping she'll be more forthcoming this time.
Well, until you all deal with the red brands, everybody in town is meant to be essentially more afraid of them, who are always there, than the prospects of somebody who... I'm a big fan of commoners look at adventurers as impending death, because you are the people who upset the status quo, and commoners tend to really enjoy, I'm at least not dead yet.
Well, that's the vibe I got, so that makes sense. And she was like, not, nervous about us. So
Yeah, and like she won't even sell weapons or armor to people who haven't done anything to her. So that was me already acting her being warmed up to you as well. I don't think you all met her before you got those things for her.
Yeah, no. I think we kind of like tried to knock on the door or something. No, did we ask her where that lady was?
I think she thought we were red brands at first, but yeah, she wasn't particularly all that friendly.
She said, "You'll get nothing from me. You'll not strong arm me."
Yeah. I was.
And then she took a shine to Ty and gave us directions. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
had
let's go
somebody
see her
get pissed
again.
off at me for role-playing her, and I'm like, bro, if you only knew the actual module, like, I made this person more friendly than they are in the module, and it was too mean for you, and it's like, you just walked into day one and tried to buy a sword from a lady who's worried that, like, red brands are going to stab her in the back. Like, no, she's not going to equip you. So
I
yeah,
feel like that partially comes from like, sorry, go ahead.
Nope, I'm continuing on with other parts. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I feel like that comes from like video games where you just like all the NPCs are like immediately adore you when you go up and speak to them, and they just like, you don't have to earn their trust or anything like that.
Yeah, I saw somebody had a really good quote, basically, that you guys are the star of this story. You are not the star of this world.
And our story isn't really add up to very much yet. We dropped off some crates. Maybe the second time of dropping off crates will increase in her estimation.
Yeah, like the tier of play, by the time you guys are level 5, you're like the hero of that town kind of area. By the time you're level 10, you're usually like the hero of that realm. And by the time you're 15, you're like the hero of that continent. And then if you ever go beyond 15, you're like world-changing events. That's like a general breakdown of how like the tiers of D&D work. But yeah, so you guys head around that edge as you kind of approach into and towards the Ettermath Orchard. You would quickly come upon the kind of eerie sensation of it seems really quiet. You were relatively aware the last time you kind of snuck up on his orchard that he has like a candlelit study on the northwestern side of his home, where he has like a veranda that kind of goes around the home, and he has like a open area that he kind of like basically is kind of sheltered, but out in nature, like inside of the orchard. And he seemed to kind of take his dinners there. And I believe that's where you all last. I think it's when you sat down, purchased a keg of his cider, and basically sat down for the longer talk with Darren. And as you kind of round through that corner, you all quickly recognize that something is off. There doesn't seem to be a candle lit in this house. There doesn't seem to be any sign of activity.
Okay. I'm gonna put down the crate. Put a hand on my sword.
Steal some apples.
Yeah, I'll snatch
Yeah,
an apple
go
real
to-
quick.
Then run into the house and see if he notices you.
Yeah. We're kind of coming from the what is that? The northwest here. You said.
Yeah, that would be kind of like midway through the actual orchard, following that orange line that I drew. So you're like roughly like along there.
I got you. Okay.
I think that's probably still about like 30 to 50 feet away from the house.
Okay, then I don't drop the crate. It kind of. You should probably like be a little more stealthy. We get to the house and then, see if we can peek in.
Yeah, there was a window I recall. You try and sneak up and.
Yeah, that side of the house is like rather like open. I don't like the idea of necessarily having glass windows, but essentially like a lot of these homes have like shutters so they can shut the window if there's actual like stormy weather. But essentially you're walking up on like, I don't know, it's not like mosquito netted off, but like the spring outdoor but still room of his home is what it was. So you kind of walk up to this area and you're looking into his home, and it's dark right now.
Okay. I think Jason will probably draw his rapier just in case something definitely seems off.
Darren have a family, or is it just him?
You all have only seen just Darren there, and something definitely should feel off. So drawing your rapier should not feel weird.
I don't think he's the type of guy to have, family. Wait, do you say that in character, or you're asking the DM that?
I was just asking you all. I couldn't remember, but
I got you. Yeah,
it
that's why I
raises
said
the
that.
stakes if you had a family. That's all.
Gotcha. I don't think he does though. Doesn't seem like the type.
Or is it still early enough for us to see without additional light, or is it starting to get dark?
It's definitely still light out, as well as this is still essentially full moon time, so you're even going to have dim light even into the evening tonight. I believe you all are at Eliant the 13th, so it's still like a what is that? The waxing moon.
Okay.
But this is probably what? This is probably midway between high noon and the sun setting. So out of character, call it like roughly like 5 till 6-ish.
I'm concerned that the Red Brands have grabbed Darren up. We got to go rescue his ass.
Yeah, something's definitely up.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna start moving towards the Wait, have we already moved up? I'm sorry.
So I might suggest.
I feel like it's most likely that Justin has already moved up and relatively like signaled you all forward. But it's up to you all to describe into more detail, like beyond your kind of like standard operating procedure.
Gotcha.
And you guys would see me have drawn my rapier if like you hadn't already drawn your own weapons.
Yeah, when I see you do that, I'll draw my greatsword and move up to you.
And so I'm going to try and listen for any sounds coming from inside the house, or is it just like completely silent?
If you want to do for an active listening, let me have you do a perception check. But it is for all intents and purposes. It seems absolutely silent. You've almost always heard when you've approached him some sort of work. And as you kind of approach the area, this is high summer, is Eliant. So, what extra can I give you? I think one of the initial things that I guess you would probably spy as you start to look in on the area is there seems to be work kind of left undone. So let's say as you kind of peek in, there seems to be a bushel of apples that seem to be ripe and kind of picked and prepared for like he's got like a station set up for squeezing and juicing the apples, and there seems to be signs that like there's still a crushed apple inside of this like wooden machine for crushing the apples into juice, like for pulping them. And it seems quickly to cross your mind like this was a man who is very dedicated to his work. You all know him as having served in the Lord's Alliance, and he was a very like kind of pragmatic person in the way you've come across him. It seems very unlike him that he would leave something left halfway done, as well as just like left dirty and essentially damaging his product and his materials. Yeah, I think that's sufficient for a 20, is just to notice that like there are many signs. As well, I think he's shown you all his armor, and his armor is missing. I believe Burke saw his actual sign of I think he had the symbol of Torm on his armor, and he showed you.
Yeah, that's right. So can we check out the house quick, see if he's in there? Assuming he's not, that he's been detained or taken.
Yeah, he left. Seems like he left in a hurry, whether willingly or unwillingly.
So heading into the house itself, once you kind of like leave that area that's open to the moon or to the like that's like where the setting sun's coming from, it gets pretty dark pretty quick. It seems otherwise rather shut up inside. You can either do the light on Justin's knife, a light on something of your own, Burke, or play with the dancing lights that Edrin has, or light something. How would you all like to go about with the lights?
Justin, you want to go first, and I'll light up your stuff.
Yeah, so I'll draw a dagger in my free hand and just Burke can cast light on that.
So you all haven't like gone through like much of his personal things, but from what you can tell as you do like a cursory look through the home, you see other signs about the house that it doesn't seem to have been like destroyed. There doesn't seem to be any signs of a fight, but it does seem to be ransacked in some way. And let me have you do an investigation with that. Still kind of continue at 25 perception.
Oh my, what the fuck? Oh my god.
You see, yeah, that's like 5 20s in a row, basically. You see plenty of signs. You see plenty of signs that lead you to quickly recognize that it would appear what you want to piece together with what you are seeing is that it would appear that the Red Brands finally came for Darren. They have gone through his house looking for him, but it seems like he got away. There's no signs of an actual fight happening in this place, and you see both signs of him, his weapons, and his armor are missing. It doesn't, you don't see signs that he like left of free will at some point here. He left in a hurry, and he took what is necessary for returning to a life that he told you all that he had left behind. And that's kind of like the quickest things that you would kind of get as you go through this house. If you have anything else in particular you'd like to be keeping an eye out for, let me know. Otherwise, I feel like that's kind of the best gist of kind of what has happened in this situation.
I'm gonna keep an eye on what's going on outside. Kind of like keep Good perimeter. Make sure no one's gonna try and sneak up on us.
Let me
Make it
have a
like that.
perception from you there, Ty.
Not doing a good job, but I'm trying.
Oh, and you know what? I believe now is a good time. Ty, or not Ty, Justin. You would recognize as you kind of go through everything, searching through this little place, that there is a small quiver of arrows that has feathers that you recognize. And I am going to add the arrows to your inventory. I forgot what I named them. I know I have to. What were those birds called that killed your character, Larry?
Yeah, the murder
Bloodhawk.
crows.
Bloodhawks, yeah.
Good old Bloodhawks.
Oh, sweet. He made you arrows. Now we have to find him. He's like a nice, lovely old man who made you a present.
All right, you should have access. If you reload your character, you should have access to the arrows of the Bloodhawk. Those are essentially a single shot each.
Are they +1 or something? Like what?
My
is there
bad.
something
I
cool
actually
about
I
'em?
changed it a little bit. They are essentially, they give him access to flanking when he uses them, and then it's actually on an even die roll they are expended. On an odd, you are able to retrieve them.
Okay, and since we're not using flanking rules usually, does that mean
Basically, if somebody is standing next to your target, you have advantage on the shot.
okay? Yeah, okay.
And I don't think it's listed on there, but there are 5 arrows.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Okay, yeah, that was what I was gonna ask. So I see the arrows of the Bloodhawk, and I'll
So
make
if
a
you
note to
reload
myself,
it again,
there's 5.
word, I just changed it in there, but if you reload it or just look at it, it should show up in the notes now. But yeah, that way, basically, when you roll the hit, if you roll even, that arrow is retrievable. If you roll odd, that arrow is expended. And kind of the same idea as most of the time, I will tell you if an arrow is just lost because of the situation on how you shoot it. But also, like, if you guys flee from a battle, expendable ammunition like that is lost anyways. So it both means that you have to roll an even to hit and also win the battle, that you are essentially picking up your ammunition.
Right. Okay.
But essentially part of what he made for you is when you need it, you have the chance to give yourself advantage.
That could definitely come in handy.
Yeah, you guys left when he finished those. I was like, oh, guess he's not going to use him on this section of the battle or of the campaign.
Cool. And if the flanking, like if one of us in the party is next to the person he's shooting an arrow at, then he gets advantage, right? Or is it just anyone's next to that person?
I think more or less the way flanking works is it has to be somebody who is a threat. So given the idea that you all have potential allies who are not necessarily like strictly allies, if they're, it's essentially, if there is somebody who is hostile next to Justin's target, Justin can draw one of those arrows to give himself flanking.
Got it. That's a good way to put it. Understand. Thanks.
But otherwise, yeah, you guys, my bad. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
So otherwise, you all go through Darren's place here. Again, you see signs that it has kind of been ransacked, like looking for him. Not really signs that they're looking for something in his place, so much as somebody came looking for him, and you see signs of him having essentially made a hasty retreat.
Well, I'm glad to see there are no bloodstains. Looks like Darren may have evaded. I have to assume it'd be the Red Brands coming for him.
How about we go see Leanne and see what she knows? Dump off these crates. Because I'm carrying the other one.
Agreed. Maybe she knows something, or maybe he. I mean, don't know all of his friends, but they seem to know each other. So perhaps he got in touch with her or left her a message or something.
Yeah, how great would it be to get Darren to join up with us?
So how would you like to head to the Lion Shield Coster? You want to go, there's essentially like the town green, which is a small hill between the Edermath Orchard and the Coster. You have a pretty well ruined wall at that point, but you can get more cover kind of going from the north, and then you have a big open area as you try to cross like the town center, or you can head towards the south and hook like around that hill in a pretty similar fashion and try to sneak across. I think there is one house. I guess that's probably 2 homes between the Coster and that like side of the hill.
Yeah, well, if the Red Brands have gotten bold enough to attack Darren, I don't think they'll hesitate to come after us.
Mm,
Is that route any good, or do you guys want to be more go around?
I think we gotta.
I don't see.
Yeah, I don't see a line drawn.
Oh, interesting. I drew on my map. How do you? I don't know how you see it. Anyway, but so we're gonna go south and west, and then at some point come back around.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
essentially
possible.
like on the west side of that ruined wall, right? And then through those 2 houses, rather than through the field, sort of straight more south. Is that what you're thinking?
Kind of like right here. I don't know if you see my the flashing them doing whatever.
Yeah, we can see that. Or I can.
Yeah, my bad. I started to reload just to see if it would show up what Larry
Oh, I
was
see it
drawing.
now. The brown line.
I drew like a rust-colored line. So
Yeah, the
the
rust-colored
brown
line I
line.
see a little dot of basically on the north side of the orchard. And the brown line, I feel like I saw it earlier, but it's gone. So I feel like Chris maybe deleted it.
It just now started loading in for me. I don't know. it's
Oh.
fun.
Yep, they just popped up there.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to again assume that you're going to have Justin lead and everybody kind of follow a little bit behind.
yeah, the Sherpas carrying the boxes will follow behind. How do I delete a line now? Because now there's a straight line, which I did not mean to put on the drawing.
Just
I think you have to
mark
go
it
to. I think you have to go to the pointer, and you should be able to select it with the pointer.
Got it. I deleted my lines.
Crushing
Justin,
it.
I'm gonna follow you.
Justin,
Stop trying to draw
when you
lines.
start to go stealthy, you just disappear. I roll another 20 for you. Let me have you roll a d4 for me, Justin. So you are able to round the western side of that hillock, and you kind of gain a sight across this general area to the east of you, looking towards the shrine and the open square of the town here. You see a set of guards who are kind of like pacing around that town area, currently heading. They are currently heading west. Just seem to be like walking in the town square. Let me draw a little line here real quick. So they're just kind of heading west in that direction. And then you see another set who seem to be heading kind of along in that direction as well. You have essentially kind of gotten to this area between some like large bushes and like a more overgrown area where some trees have kind of taken over the wall. But you can kind of wave everybody up to you, and then let me know how you would like to approach from there.
Okay. So I'll let the others know about the 2 patrols I've seen, or what I think are patrols. Suggest maybe we try to see where the one that's heading south, see if they maybe wait and try to see if they turn to the east or keep going like sort of down and then turning west once they reach that sort of fork kind of area right beneath the line shield coster.
So let me have you roll a d6 for me. So as you kind of gather everybody up beside you, the one set seems to start to head to the north, between like a couple of those different homes there. The other more or less like crosses towards the townmaster's hall, and after like stopping for a moment at the townmaster's like hall, kind of just right near where you all had seen the workboard, they start to head back to the north.
Okay. All right. Let's
I'm gonna say it's now's as good a time as any to try to get to the coster.
Yeah.
But still moving stealthily. At this point, if they accost us again, we might just have to fight it out.
So let me have you roll a d4 for me again. Oh, that was the lucky number. So as you start to like step out beside the house to the south of you, you notice that there seems to be a group that kind of turns down this like side little street from the south there.
I thought you guys said they weren't very organized.
I guess they kind of are.
Are they all wearing red baseball hats? Like, what is the identifying characteristic?
This is again essentially these are random groups that are not doing anything versus people who have always seemed to be kind of going about certain tasks. But essentially, if you take long enough to kind of look at any one of these groups, they all have some sort of like either a red bandana, like a red sash. There's different things that always kind of mark them off as having some sort of red item. Seems to be their red brand.
Copy that.
What would you like to do as you spot them, Justin? There are 3 of them.
So Justin's gonna glance back towards the others, sort of let him know there's 3 red brands coming up.
Did they see us?
So is that X that on the to the rightmost side? Is that where we're standing currently, and then that arrow is where the red brands are coming up?
Yeah, so I think the last point that I put you at looks more like a Y, but it was intended to be an X. So
right, yeah,
I would say
that's
at
what I
this
was
point,
thinking, yeah.
you've got like them at the X. You are at the Y, kind of looking down that street. You are preparing to head across and into the Lion Shield Coster. And like at the last instant, you held yourself back because you spotted this group of men turn around that corner.
So Justin's gonna look to the others and say, like, do you want to try to ambush them, wait for them to pass, or meet them in the open?
No, if we fight them, we're going to fight all 3 of them. They're all going to hear.
We gotta dodge them.
I think we got to dodge for now.
Or if we can try and lure them away, like, I don't know. I think as soon as they see us, they may call out to the other guys. Or they may not call at all. We don't know shit about these guys, so we have no idea how they really operate.
Or if we let them see one of us, have the others back and try to have that one lure them back.
All right, okay.
Have one of us act as bait almost.
All right, so question here. What do we do after we kill them? You know, I mean, like, what do we? I'm kind of thinking, like, what do we have to gain from killing these guys right here? I didn't really think about that.
Are you thinking
just
about
feel
the
like-
future?
I may just be upset about Darren.
I just feel if we kill these red brands, then we're probably gonna have to fight all of them in a pretty near future.
Well, I think we're gonna have to fight them either way, regardless. But I mean, just kind of like right now, in this point in time, I was just kind of thinking. I mean, I'm okay with killing these guys. I don't care. They probably got a whole bunch of money and shit on them. But I'm just kind of think of forward thinking here.
Yeah, maybe for now we just try to hide and let them pass by. So which I think maybe.
I think we
like-
can. Ooh, sorry.
I feel like Ty's grown so much.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
we have the advantage right now because there's like 2 patrols of 2 and 1 of 3. And as soon as we make any noise, they're all going to come running. So it'll be on 5 on 8.
I think we
5
can
and 7.
still lure them away pretty far away from everything, I guess, and to have a good concealed fight. But again, what do we gain? I don't know. I guess less of them.
Yeah, the measuring device is pretty accurate on this one. I think I've got it set correctly. So there's like 100 feet between like you all, like 120 feet between you all and the patrol that's like by the Townmaster's Hall. and like 90 feet to the one that just head between, and like 80 feet to the ones that you are in. So there is a certain level of, you all have them isolated. And granted, you already know that there are other ones there, but there is some level of this is already isolated inside of the town for perhaps what you can expect. Though you all have already heard that they are most active towards the end of, like, towards the midday is when they wake up, and towards late into the night is when they start to revel a little bit more.
Right. So do you want to just try and let them pass for now, do you think?
Fuck it. I mean,
Well, I gotta go at 7, so going to murder all these guys. So maybe it'd be good for next weekend.
we'll leave it hanging in the balance.
I think we could probably avoid this patrol if we just wait for them to go up around the corner and get to the Coster building.
Let's roll a d20 and see what happens. Above 10, we do it. If it's below 10, we do it. How about that?
Ty was growing so much.
Eh.
So I wasn't here when they called you a murder hobo. You told me about it.
There was a moment there, yeah, where I guess it would be could be seen as that.
It's time to kill Toblin.
the good
He
bar
invited us to dinner. That dirty bastard.
it was suspicious. It was suspicious. I promise you.
You're gonna kill the tavern guy?
I wasn't gonna kill him. I was thinking that he was gonna betray us, and then I was gonna kill him. But
So we are definitely about to end the session. Are there any thoughts, or do we want to continue with this cat and mouse when we return next week?
I think it'd kind of be good, if this was a series, it would end right there as Jason saw him, and then hard cut.
Cliffhanger.
Pretty good. Yeah, exactly.
All right, word. So yeah, everybody take some time to think about it across this week here. As much as possible, or as much as anyone cares to, discuss in the actual chat what you would like to do, so you can be a little bit more informed as to where you would like to take it here. But at present, you all, I should write down how many. I think there were, I think there were two
and 3.
Well, no, there were 3 in 2 of them. So I think there were 2. That was a terrible 3 and 3. I don't think I actually described with the first 2, but I rolled for them. So at present, you all have seen, what is that? 12 different red brands in town. And we will stop it there. As anybody has any thoughts or any ideas as to where you would like to take it, please don't hesitate to ask. Otherwise, I think you have already recognized that they are no longer passively looking for you all. They have turned up the heat, and there might be a reason that Darren Edermath is currently missing.
Shit, I didn't think about that.
Oh, like it could be our fault?
Yeah.
Yep, every time you all have returned to town, it's been hotter and hotter to be here. So, I feel like it was a creative and really good roll that you guys got away from Strunk when he first ambushed you. And perhaps it wasn't so scot-free that you were heading east out of the Edermath Orchard when he met you all.
Ah, shit. Yeah, that lines up pretty good.
Yep.
Did not think about that.
And then we just left town for 5 days.
Yeah. Like, where the fuck did they go? Where are they?
Well, 4 on 12, we are like heroes, right? So maybe we can work that out.
Yeah, let's just say it's far more accomplishable now than it is when you're level 1 and you find out about the red brands.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we need to get the town on our side. So when are we going to start doing that?
Yeah, we probably should start as soon as possible.
That's what is the
Yeah.
game. We kind of like, after we kill these guys, we string them up somewhere. Like, yeah, we did that, you know?
When I tortured dude, they were on their like first session and they ran in and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's go talk to them at the Sleeping Dragon or the Sleeping Giant." So they went like right to the bar where all of the red brands hang out, and they immediately basically outed themselves as heroes, come to save the town. And then like shit went down. They had this great plan of how to like help and basically show that they were actually criminals, and one of them like just kind of pops out with like the clearly criminal character of the group and just like joins up behind him, and it's like, that was definitely not the plan you all talked about to back him up when you did. And it like basically started with the second session. It's like, well, I don't want to kill you, so you're about to get tortured for being captured for doing stupid shit. And apparently he did not think to actually say, I don't actually care to get tortured. Maybe we can just say like there's an extensive torture scene.
Oh, and then he didn't come back. Like you tortured him right out of the game.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was definitely
Oh.
one of those things where like he was in session 0 and I was like, look, there are certain themes that are definitely like adult and terrible things that I think are real world scenes for how this plays out. If you ever have an issue with anything, please let me know and we can stop with it. There's the difference between like role playing something and narrating past it. And it was just one of those things where I was just like, oh yeah, I thought that was a really good out to not kill you all for doing stupid shit at the start of a campaign. It turned into a really cool campaign because it was basically this campaign with no access to this town. They immediately had lost all hope of getting anybody in the town to help them because everybody knew like these people were basically death to help in the least bit. So it made a really cool campaign to like switch everything out of being Phandalin based.
Well, we are the heroes of the town, right? We're going to get this. We're going to get the job done.
Oh, yeah.
3 red brands at a time.
Yeah, I'm thinking if we can lure them away a little bit, kill them, hide their bodies, and then just do that another, 5-6 times.
Mm-hmm. We can farm the shit out of this town for XP.
Yeah, like if we went due south from that X, and caught one patrol down there by itself, I think we wouldn't drag the rest of them in. I'm just afraid about getting them all going.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like have one person so like that they spot, so they don't think that they need more people, and then have the one person sort of lead the red brand group a little more off the path, even like farther away towards where the rest of us are hiding. And then if we're hiding, we can ambush them.
Like in that abandoned house.
Yeah, so like for what it's worth at this point, like there are some homes in that southern position, but there is not much down there. You guys are in one of the most isolated points of the town because there's really only these 4 buildings around both and including the Lion Shield Coster in that area. It's like 3 destroyed homes otherwise on that western end. So you guys are in a pretty good area to make this happen. Yeah, and that hill pretty much guards like your northern side. So that's why, I mean, without giving you too much thought on how to do it, you all are already in a pretty good location to essentially assume this is where things can go down. And it's just up to you to think about how you would like to strategically go about that. But I don't think it's asking a lot to say that if a patrol is leaving this southern area, it's probably safe to assume nobody else is going to show up from that southern area.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
Because probably like 70% of the town is around the Townmaster's Hall and the Stone Hill Inn. that's probably like 70% of the town are those two, like, I can't think of the word, blocks. And then maybe like 30%
And
is
these,
the, you know, like,
sorry,
what?
didn't mean to interrupt.
If it's like 70% up there, maybe 20% is that Lion Shield Coster and south, and maybe 10% is those 5 buildings like above the shrine. But, you know, just like at a rough estimate of the town, you all have a pretty good sense. If 2 patrols are walking past and away from the Lion Shield Coster right now, this is among the best points where you can kind of come about that situation.
Yeah, and I also feel like these, I mean, this isn't like an organized army. So like if one patrol goes missing, they're just going to think they left or deserted or whatever. They're not going to be like, not going to be worried. They're not doing like roll call every morning before they send their patrols out, would be my guess.
Yeah,
No,
I
they
feel
just
like
drink all night, right? These guys.
Yeah, I feel like you all have gathered that most of these people are essentially criminals, and people who have kind of been recruited into this system, and this is pretty much the first time that they have ever been like organized in the least bit. You all have seen signs of them kind of sticking together, but this is the first time that you've actually seen them like actively attempting to patrol the city.
Right.
And
I mean, hell, we could even stage.
You can clearly spot that they do not have eyes on each other. They are relatively close to one another, but they are already outside of like view of each other as well.
And if we can take out a patrol, we can even stage the body so it looks like they felt an infighting among themselves and killed each other.
I'm saying we could take like their whatever their not insignia, but like the whatever the red pieces of clothing, and we could put them on ourselves. Kind of like,
Yeah,
you know,
basically.
infiltrate.
Guys yourself.
Yeah, I mean, at least from a distance for other patrols, that would probably work.
I'm excited to see Ty roll that deception check.
Well, I feel like a month ago, Ty would have just gone running out and attacked the 3 red brands like right away anyway. So he's definitely
Changed a lot since the days in the Lord's Alliance. I'll tell you that.
I think a friendship with all those goblins has really been good for you.
That was not a friendship. Because I gave them 5 coppers. It's not a friendship.
All right, guys, I got to run. Thank you.
Peace out, Larry. Have a good one.
See it.
Yeah, I also gotta run. Gotta go to bed.
Gotcha.
Bye, Chris.
Night, Chris.
Oh yeah, it's late for you. Good night.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock here.
Oh fuck.
Good night.
See it. Oh lord.
Yeah, we'll see how this progresses next session. I am quite impressed with you all that you did not have a combat with Grol, though I was really excited to see how that character played out.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad it worked out the way it did.
Yeah, definitely not what I was expecting, but the idea of like creating this sort of ragtag alliance between all these different people that go after this mysterious spider is that's definitely a cool idea too.
Well, I think that's one of the things that I find most entertaining about the game is presenting situations that are very gray areas of there is no right or wrong choice. There are only varying levels of this is a shit storm and we're in the center of it.
Oh man. I thought when you told me to roll that con outside of the castle, I thought that guy, whatever,
She's
that
like,
goblin was
no,
fucking with
he's
me.
not casting shit on me. That
Yeah,
is
there's no
unacceptable.
way. I was like, there's no fucking way this dude's like behind me or something.
No, all I could think was, like I said, like I was just like the moment he said, "Yeah, let's go bring out the goblin and have another talk with him." All I could think was of Ty just retching and see if you were going to vomit on the spot or not, or like on nat 1, your ears start to bleed.
That was fucking nuts.
But no, I was hoping to get a little bit more into Phandalin at this point, but like I was rolling a d10 for each of those rolls that I had Justin do there, and each time Justin won, I rolled the d10 inside of the die that I was having you roll. So I think I rolled a 4 and you rolled a 1 on the d4, and then I had you roll a d6. I rolled a 1 on a d10 and you rolled a 6. and then I had you roll the D4. Like both of those were like solid stealth checks, is why I had you on a D4 and I was on the D10. And then I rolled a 3 on the D10 and you rolled the 3, and I was like, oh, and there's a third party of red brands who just rounded the corner on you. But you're like still super stealthy, so there is a potential for the encounter, just like with the goblins that Ty avoided. It's one of the things where when you all do it correctly, there's an encounter, but you can avoid it. So it's up to you all how you approach it, but it was definitely funny to see that dynamic of sneaking through the town played out, where it like actually happened to cause an encounter still.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to next week, the denouement of this whole thing. So,
yeah, I'll say I think it's the weekend after the one coming up. I will not be there. Hold on. Oh, okay. It's never mind. Next weekend I will not be there. No. I'm a fucking idiot. I cannot read. It's the 29th that weekend, the 30th and the 31st. I will not be there. Yep.
yes, it's 2 weeks.
Pardon.
Gotcha.
So depending on how things go, we might just postpone the session there. It'll a lot depend on how things progress forward here. This kind of gets to a point in the campaign where you all pretty much have all of the pieces together. You've kind of skipped over this little section. Usually happens like before Cragmaw. But this gets to be a shit show, where this session was almost entirely role play. The next session is likely to be almost entirely combat. It gets to be essentially you're about to clear out Phandalin. Once you start causing shit, you don't really get to turn back after that point. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's definitely should be high on the list of things for you all to do. But it is among those things where you guys are starting to put all of the pieces of the puzzle together. So we will see what the session after that will kind of lead to. But it is getting to the point where having the entire group of 4 people is almost a requirement to progress forward as you kind of like peek out into the campaign.
True.
Yeah.
Um,
And even just like, I don't know, I would feel bad if we went through some whole big chunk of stuff with somebody missing.
But if someone joined in on this campaign right now, you would put them at level 3, level 4, something like that?
Oh yeah, I would keep them up with you guys, so they would be 3.
I got you.
I actually did all of the work to bring somebody on last night, and then kind of last minute they're like, oh, yep, one of my friends invited me to the campaign, I gotta drop out.
I thought I saw another name in the Here Be Dragons like group list, like I forget what the name was, but I was gonna ask, and then I saw they were gone, so I didn't bother.
Yeah, I think I switched him over to I basically have a role for like people waiting on the next session 0 that I do, because I'm going to start another campaign on Thursdays, like probably early February. So he's still in the general chat, I believe, unless he's left since then. But yeah, he ended up like joining for a second. We went through character creation. I did like a session 0, kind of summed up some things for him, and then at like 1:30, like a half hour later, he hit me up. Oh, yep, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be dropping out.